Good evening. Welcome to the Friday edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show, Red Pill Edition. My name is Leon Jones, and hopefully today I got a couple special guests coming up. I got TPOT from the Prophet of Thought series, and I also got a up and coming YouTuber. I've been watching his information. He's got good content. His name is Chaotic Truth. What's going on, Be Easy? And well, just before I get out the gate, got got my boy Be Easy. Welcome to the panel. Hey, Celine, how you doing? What's going on, bro? Can you hear me? Hold on.
Oh yeah, I was muted. What's happening? Big bro, what's good?
Hey, what's good, bro? What's good?
I'm actually on my way to the house, so I'm just about to go off cam. I just want to give you the greetings and salutations. But yeah, I'll be here though.
Hey, that's great, man. That's great. So
Yeah, I was excited. I was excited to get on here. I ain't gonna lie with Mr. 411. I know you got some I know you got something in store for the audience tonight.
oh yeah, Prophet of Thought, Chaotic Truth, they'll be stopping by. So we're gonna get in some issues. You know, I may even travel across the manosphere to see what's happening. But for the most part, we're just going to get into some regular topics, social topics, educational topics, because it is very important to understand what's going on around you. And I always tell the guys out there, if you're interested in the dating scene, you want to get some coaching on some women, go over there to Brother Red Supreme and Minister Jap's channel and Brother Alan Roger Curry's channel. Those and also Ringo. Those are the four brothers in this sector that are going to give you their truth about what's going on when it comes to women in this society. But I'm going to give you my information right now on feminism. And it's very important that we really understand feminism. Now, from my humble opinion, I believe feminism is a Marxist ideology. It's a bad ideology, and a number of women have been brainwashed by feminism as well as a number of guys. Now, there's nothing wrong with equality, but there's a brother out there. He is a professor. He's going overseas now. He does African American studies. His name is Dr. Thomas Curry, and he had some information out on, and shout out to BGS and shout out to Dr. Tiasan Johnson about feminism. And I listened to both parts of those videos. And I wasn't surprised of what Dr. Curry said about feminism. In fact, it gave me a deeper thought about it, particularly as a black man. And where did it all start? And when it comes to feminism, most of us think it goes all the way back to the 60s and 70s. No, feminism actually goes back to I'm going to say the 19th century. We're dealing with the 1800s. And it started with white women. And then it went up to affirmative action. Now, I will say this. Do we need affirmative action? Who's benefiting off of affirmative action? I know that as a black male, I have never benefited off of affirmative action or anything race based. I've always made the grade to get in to whatever college I applied to. There were some that I couldn't get into, like Harvard and Yale. One that I wasn't smart enough, I didn't have the money. And speaking of college, do we need degrees now? I want to say, for the most part, we don't. Salute Latin Patriot. And I'm going to get to the poll. Matter of fact, let me do that right now. I know a couple of people have had problems with the poll question. So let me go ahead and put the poll question out now. And what I'm talking about in the poll question, it seems like it is a two-part question. And I'm going to be honest with you, it is a two-part question to help you think. Now, I asked in the two-part question, are Black people investors or consumers? So here is how I broke it down. Black people spend $1.6 trillion a year. That's a lot of money. Now, we claim we don't have money, but in actuality, we have a lot of money. What do we do with our money? Well, I'm going to say this. Investing and consumerism can go either way. Now, specifically what I'm talking about when it comes to consumerism, I'm talking about tangible items and goods that you buy, like cars, houses, hair, clothes. That's what I'm talking about. And when I talk about investing, I mean, are you investing in the stock market? Shout out to you, Brother Clue. Yes or no? That is a good answer. Yes or no? That's a good answer.
And to put it plainly, do you think Black people as a collective are investing in more assets? Yes or no, if you think they're just hyper consumers?
Well, I got Brother TPOT up here. What's going on, Brother X?
Peace, brother Leon,
Peace,
man. My
man.
bad, man. I apologize for being late, man.
Hey, no, you weren't late, brother. You weren't late. I was actually, I got you up here because you had a brother named Chaotic Truth on your show, and
Oh
I
yeah.
actually watched that brother, and I thought he was a good brother. I invited him and you up here so we could talk about some of the issues because this issue is right down your wheelhouse. And I just did a poll question, and it's a yes or no poll question. Since you and I are around the same age, the poll question that I had is a two-part, and some people didn't understand it. So I wrote it like this, Brother Beezy and Brother X. I said, what do Black people invest or consume? And I'm looking at it like this. You and I talked about how much money that Black people spend, $1.6 trillion a year. So
Mhm.
out of that $1.6 million a year, $1 trillion a year, what do Black people really spend their money on?
BS. A lot of
So
it goes to BS.
basically, when it comes to Black people, we're not. When I say investors, are most of us investing in the stock market or not? And I don't see a lot of us investing in the stock market.
Are you
Or
investing in anything? Let's just say, you know what, we take the stock market off the table. Is there
okay,
anything, precious metals, crypto, your own business, NFTs, your online platform in any way?
I mean, Brother Rex, you and I have known each other for a while, and we've talked about this.
Yes, we
Are
have.
Black people, yeah, and we talked about it the other day when I piggybacked off you about the church. But when it comes to Black people, I still hear a number of them say they don't have any money. And I believe that is far from the truth. And I'm sure you do too.
Oh yeah. I don't believe that. Especially when we done poured I don't know how many billions into the Black church. That alone lets you know that there is money there. But think about the billions of dollars that have been poured into the black church. What if those billions of dollars, half of it, uh, uh, a quarter of it, 10% of it, 5% of it, had been invested into something, whether it be stocks, whether it be bonds, whether it be crypto, whether it be anything you could imagine, education, whatever, housing. Imagine how things would be if that money was being properly invested into something more viable than the church. I mean, we don't do a lot of investing, but what we do is we keep a lot of investment markets vibrant because we keep Nike in business. We keep Apple in business. All right. We keep these people in business. And a lot of us, far as black men go, a lot of us keep the private prison industry in business.
There's
So,
the prison. Yes,
yeah.
Prison industrial complex.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's why I
Now
raised.
it's a combination of things, but yeah, definitely there are a lot of black men falling for the okey doke to end up, on the same slippery slope that you can see from a mile away. Yeah, I definitely will agree with that though.
That and some people couldn't, they had a hard time answering the question. I know it sounded, and I apologize for that. Shout out to you, Lawrence. Shout out to you, brother Kenneth Williams. Professional consumers, absolutely. I agree with that.
All I point you to is if you gentlemen know a fella by the name of Jim Jones. He went on this huge diatribe because he's spent upwards of 50K, 100K. I don't know how much he said he spent at the Gucci store, and they wasn't giving him his proper reverence. He was saying, I couldn't even get a water. I should be VIP. He's going live, ranting and raving, crying about how he's being treated at the store. You know how many clothing lines you could start for 50,000? Because now you just got to buy the equipment, and they have print on demand. They have print on demand services from Amazon and other companies where they'll take their cut, they'll print your shirt, they'll print your design of your shirt, send it out, etc. But what I'm saying is you're popular enough to have your own brand, but you want to go wear another brand that was never intended for you, popularize it, and then whine about it that you didn't get some Voss or Dasani water and a back rub, and you dropped all of this money down there.
Now I got two gentlemen up here. For you all who didn't understand the question, that's why they're up here about the question. Um, it's it's a question that can be a two-part question, but I broke it down based on our behavioral habits. We don't invest, and brother Be Easy and brother Rex have already mentioned it. We don't turn our money over into a business. We don't turn our money over unto stocks, but we're making other people rich, but we're not making each other rich. So basically, when I talk about consumption, the money, that 1.6 trillion, and that's just an average number, it actually leaves and goes to other places. How much money did we spend on Chinese food? I mean, I know I have spun my fair share of money on it.
We already did that stream about fast food. Shall we
We
go
did.
with the McDonald's? Even Shaq. I mean, Shaq bought 100 and what, like 55, like Five Guys and stuff. I mean, we know who's going to be eating most of that food. So on one hand, it's like celebratory for some of these people, but then we shouldn't even be eating at McDonald's, right? Okay, you have it one weekend, but one people they'll have McDonald's today, and they say I only had it one time. Yeah, because you have Popeyes the next day. Churches the other, that all they do is just mix it up. If they don't get McDonald's one day, that's where a lot of the money is going to. and they just say, "Oh, it's too expensive with the kids." Now, food and inflation, the stuff is going real, but you need to be able to survive on less. You got way too entitled on being eating out every night. Panda Express this night, McDonald's that night. Now you don't even know how to cook and don't even know how to shop appropriately to cook a meal. And people like to act like they above eating leftovers now. Like people like, nope, let I can't eat leftovers. Shit, if the meal is good enough, I'll eat leftovers for like 3 days. You know what I mean? Have it
Right.
covered.
Right. Well, shout out to Jenny V in the building. Hey, I want everybody who's got a wrench, give my boy, I've known him for a while, my boy, the Prophet of Thought series, spam his channel, go over there and subscribe to his channel. His information
Yeah, shout out to the
is
TPOT doing good work
fantastic.
over there.
He is putting in that
That's
work.
right. Because if you don't, I will haunt your old black ass mama in her dreams tonight.
And on and yet and you can bring it out. You can cuss on this. Just let it go. It's Friday. That's why I do my streams on Fridays. But that question I had to raise that because I'm seeing all this money go out the door, but a number of us are complaining. Look at all the cars we're buying. And many of us are, back in the days, I saw black people, they were buying, what is that big SUV? It's a gas guzzler. Who makes that?
Denali, Suburban,
The Escalade.
Durango.
The Escalade.
Oh,
Escalade.
Escalade. That's a
Oh
Cadillac,
yeah.
correct.
Oh yeah. They want that, boy. They want that
Also,
Escalade.
Lincoln Navigator, too.
And how
Yep.
much money, let's just be honest, how much money is going into the hair industry? I mean, we should,
Oh,
$1 billion.
yeah, we
10
should,
billion. 10 billion a year. Gets
10
Yeah.
spent.
billion. And
10 billion
we
a
don't
year.
even have any of it. And if we
And that market is actually cornered by Koreans. Actually, it's like they own like eight. It's dominated by Asian, but Korean specifically is like 80% ownership in terms of the hair salon business. And all of these black women, the most educated, air quotes, you guys didn't come together all together with the sisterhood, with the powers of the gynocracy to create multiple like franchises where you guys are buying from the sisterhood. It's like y'all want to go to the Asian community and then complain about how they treating y'all and beating y'all and treating y'all like subhuman, but yet collectively y'all are killing it, doing so much better than the dusty black man, but y'all won't even build an infrastructure to have your own salons. That shit is so weird to me, bro.
Yeah. I mean, you got poor ass black women, and they are freaking responsible for these Asians sending their babies to Harvard and shit. Like, I mean, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. And you would think, being that they are heavy into the market, you would think someone would be investing. I'm pretty sure there's a few, there's probably a few black folks who have like a hair business or whatever. But the Asians have it cornered, right? They have the market cornered. So you would think that someone would get in there, being that black women are the biggest and most prolific consumer of said product, that there would be some black person, some black woman sitting on top of
Where are the
some
celebrities, right?
empire. Yeah,
What even about the
somebody would be sitting on top
celebrities?
of that empire,
and
but
the
they're
music
not.
and the music business, the last real music I'm talking about, the guy that owned everything was Barry Gordy. Because I know some people might say, well, what's his name? Sean Puffy Combs owned Bad Boy Records. Now, what people don't know about Bad Boy Records, that
Russell
was,
Simmons before he got ostracized and ran off.
yeah, he owned Def Jam and Profile Records, but Bad Boy Records that was owned by Sean Puffy Combs, that was actually a redistribution from the Arista record label, by the way. Nobody knows that. And now Jay-Z has Rockefeller Records, but who's on his record label? I mean, all these rappers, NWA, they didn't own their own company. Now maybe Dr. Dre and Snoop own the company, but we have lots of money out there, but we
At
just not.
that time, they didn't own that company. They didn't own any of that stuff. Even Snoop, I think he just bought Death Row Records, but and it was a big headline. And then you read the fine print, and that was like they said we ain't giving you ain't getting Pac. They said you ain't getting Pac Masters or Dr. Dre. Everybody else on Dr. Dre on Death Row, I guess Snoop owns that, but they said Tupac, yeah, we can't give you him. Dr. Dre, we can't give you his masters.
So even with all that money out there, we got all these players. And shout out to Latin Patriot. She says to be in business, we have to know how to speak Mandarin, which is Chinese. Well, and some.
Like I said, the market is cornered. It would take for the sisterhood for them to say, you know what, we're not spending this multiple excess of billions. We're going to collectively build a franchise. And if there was more celebrities, Cardi B, I mean, she's not black, but then is she? Right? She's a part of the sisterhood. If she was started a franchise, and Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, they're the ones who's always wearing weed. Even they won't do it. So, the PhDs ain't gonna do it. They
Well,
gonna blame the black men and say the educated lames ain't doing it. Pookie and Ray Ray ain't doing it.
well,
So
brother,
everybody just threw their hands up.
Brother X, you got a business, and I've heard that market that you're in, and I know Osama Abdul, he has a business. You all do
Mhm.
landscaping. How much competition do you have in that business? Because I heard the Mexicans got that market cornered.
Um, well, me, I just got into landscapes, hardscapes, like
Okay.
last year. I'm a mechanical engineer, so I
Oh,
mean, we we work on power equipment, and we do steam rooms, and we do
oh
commercial
yeah.
generators. We build, we modify, we design. That's about 35% of our business. The other 60% is, repair, maintenance, and installation. But we did get into hardscapes, landscapes last year. The competition is stiff where I am. It's pretty stiff because if you do it residentially, it's different, because you can kind of pound the pavement and word of mouth and, get your
Right.
money. But if you're doing commercial, it's different. Commercial because everything's a bid. They put everything up for bid, every year, every 2 years. So you got to get in there and, you got to make the right pitch, have the right services to provide, and most importantly, you got to sell yourself. So, I mean, and bidding is serious here. I got a job up for bid in July. I got to rebid a job because they're putting it back up for bid. So, far as the competition, because we're in the country, I think there's enough money for everybody, but
Right.
people will come along and cut your throat. They will come along and do it for $100 less. They will come along and do it for $200 less. So, you got to kind of know how to play the game. But once you're in, and I'm pretty sure brother Osama will say the same. I mean, once you're in and you got a good product and people are satisfied with your service, I mean, you there, man. They more than likely, if they do rebid the job, you'll get it back. Because I rebid a job last year and got it back, and actually got it back for more than I was making on it. So I mean, there is some competition in the blue collar fields, but the blue collar field, any blue collar field, there's always money to be made, especially down here in the South. There's always some money to be made, man. If you put yourself out there, I mean, there's always a niche that you can fill. So the competition isn't that big of a deal. Um, what you have to be more concerned with when you're talking about, any type of blue collar field down here is, the state and county and all that kind of shit, that this permit, that permit. That's more of a problem than anything else.
Right.
Competition is what it is.
Well, another one of our he was at the Manosphere meetup. Bernard Riley, thank you, Clue. Said Bernard Riley has a weave and wig business. Wow, I didn't know
Oh
that.
yeah, that's right. That's right. He
Oh,
does.
he
That's
he, he
right.
does. Oh,
Yeah, he's been doing that for a while. I forgot. Yeah, he's been doing that for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's big business. I might have to get in on the gold mine.
Like I said, Mexicans are the only ones south of the border right now. Shout out to Latin Patriot. But this topic is, even though we talked about it before, it's still the amount of complaining I hear about. Oh well, I haven't gotten this and I haven't gotten that. But for the most part, I look at all these NBA players, even LeBron James. They're complaining about being oppressed here. Okay,
Millionaires.
right. And there, I mean, I, I will never. I mean, unless I'm Barry Gordy or something, that kind of money. These individuals. Now, there is one guy. I can't remember his name. He may be the first minority to have an NFL team. He might buy the Denver Broncos, and I know Michael Jordan. He's part owner along with Robert Johnson, formerly of BET, they own the Charlotte Hornets. You're down there,
Yeah,
brother.
They do. They do.
So we can get some individuals in there. All this entertainment that we do, that we have, I don't see why we can't own it. Clue says in the fleet industry, you can be a millionaire by running 5 trucks. So and myself, I'm starting out. I'm kicking some money toward the name of my business is Quality Control and Inspection Services. This is going to be a civil engineering firm. Yeah, is there competition? Yeah, I can get in there as a minority contractor on some of these DOT jobs, but I already have everything set and go. So the money I'm going to take from my regular job, I'm going to invest in that, because in the end, we do need extra income, because too many of us are depending on a job, and you can be laid off at any moment's notice on a job. And then when you're finding another job, you're going to have to go through I'm just going to say the craziness of them calling your past employers. What if you got fired for something? I mean, uh, the bottom line is we do have a lot of money. I mean, many of us wouldn't look good. I mean, I see all the clothes. I mean, you see some of these comedians. I mean, I saw some of the stuff Bernie Mac used to wear. I mean, suits out the yin yang. They have money, but it's going somewhere else. But it's not circulating within the African American community, except for the church. Clue says LeBron James is 3/4 a billionaire, but he's afraid his children will be targeted by the police.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, the cops are just riding around looking for LeBron James's offspring. When I hear that kind of stuff, man, it's like, come on, man. I mean, you out here talking about what white people do, man. You don't live around nothing but white people. All right. So I guess you're afraid to come out of your damn mansion too, right? Because ain't nothing around you except other white people, right? I mean, it's stupid.
Yeah. Probably got a gate around his home. I mean, even the members of BLM, they took the money, they moved to a white community.
Of course they did, man.
And they're the ones talking about oppression, but they're using black men to make their money, and they've worked very well. And with this feminism out here, they've really taken on the road of feminism. They don't even understand feminism, and they don't even need, sisters don't need feminism, but they chose to go down that road because they thought they can get a little bit of chips out of it. And I do understand with the affirmative action, and I work for the government. Most of the individuals who work for the government are women. They do. They work in the public sector. They don't work in the private sector. They don't have businesses like you do, Brother TPOT, and Be Easy. They're not looking to create anything. As a black man, we still have to create things, and we can do it if we put our mind to it. Now, I know not everybody's going to be an entrepreneur, but we can actually do it if we have a talent, and many of us do. There are other things besides picking up a microphone shooting the basketball, catching the football. Because how many of us are going to actually make the pros?
1 in 750,000
And
is the odds.
that is very, that is very, very slim. I mean, other jobs out here, people can be chefs if they want. I mean, I watch all these chef shows. Of course, I watch the ones with Gordon Ramsay. And you know what? I don't see not one black male face on it. Yeah, I may once in a while see a black female once in a while. But what women used to do, a number of men have taken it and they've made themselves a boatload of money and they're running a bunch of restaurants.
Yeah. You hate to run the old cliche, right? That you can be whatever you dream to be, right? You
Right.
don't want to run that too much. But I think that the average person can do pretty much anything they want to do if they focus on that particular thing. I think often what happens, especially with our young people, because we live in a world now where everybody want to be a rapper, everybody want to be a Bitcoin entrepreneur, everybody want to be a basketball player, they want to be a football player, they want to be
A YouTube
whatever.
star.
Yeah, they want to be a YouTube star and all this kind of nonsense. And let's be honest here, man. Most of us will never be an NBA player. Most of us will never play in the NFL. Most of us will not become some hip hop artist. And guess what? Most of us will not be able to make a living off of YouTube. I mean, that's just what it is. The
Yeah.
overwhelming majority of people are not going to be able to make it in entertainment, in internet, Bitcoin, professional athletics. That's a minority.
No.
When you put it up against the population, that is a slim minority. But there are many, many, many other things that you can be proficient at and make a good living at. And I think a lot of us, we just don't explore those options, man, because we're too
Right.
tied into, being famous, being a rapper,
we
being
go-
whatever.
Well, we're gonna have a
Also,
real
it's
good
it's
show
a
tonight.
little bit. What was you gonna say?
We're gonna have a
Leon?
good show tonight. And in the comment section, Chaotic Truth will be passing by, and I wanted to bring him and Teapot on because, like I said, I saw their show and both of them were spitting that knowledge out. Yeah, thank you, Clue. G. Garvin. He's the only black male celebrity chef. That's true, from Atlanta. But by the way, Brother X, you've not been on YouTube for a while.
Forever. And
Yeah.
I mean forever.
Now, are we millionaires?
Nope.
No. Are we going to be million? I don't expect to make millions off of YouTube. What about you, brother?
Hell no. Because if I was I don't even make and I say this a lot, man, and I think people know what I'm going to say. When it comes to YouTube, right?
Yeah.
YouTube is something that I do because I like to do it. YouTube is something that I do. It's not who I am. And let me tell you something. As long as I've been doing this YouTube crap, YouTube, number one, hasn't solved one problem that I've had. And guess what? It hasn't paid one goddamn bill either.
Yeah,
it hasn't paid one bill. I mean, because I have thousands of dollars worth of responsibility per month, and I ain't making that on YouTube. No, I'm not even close.
I'm just like you, Brother Rex. I mean, I might not have the talent that some of these guys have. Shout out to Citizen Lou. Got Preem up here. Welcome, Preem. Hadn't seen you around in a while.
Hey, how you guys doing, man?
What's going
Preem,
on?
what's good? Brother Preem, what's good with it, man?
What up, TPOT?
Where you been, brother? Where you been, man? It's been a long time, man. I got to get you on a stream, man. You got to come through, brother.
Nice, appreciate
hey,
that.
I'm glad you came through, Preem, man, because I hadn't seen you, man. Where you been hiding, man?
Oh man, I definitely check out your streams. I just stay in the background. I like to level the conversation. So when I saw you brothers up here,
last time I was up there, we were on GK's panel, and
Damn, that's been a minute.
5 years ago.
Man, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I try to bring the old YouTubers up here, Matt Coley, Brother TPOT, because we were all in this stuff together, man. But yeah, what we're talking about a lot of topics here, because I'm finding, and you can give me your because you're probably down in Atlanta too. Are you
Correct.
down in
Correct. Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah, we were just down there for the Manosphere
Mhm.
meetup. We're talking about Black folk. Are they investors or consumers? Now it's a two-part question. It's a yes and no question. It depends on how you utilize the language. I put that question up there on purpose. And Brother B Easy and Brother Teapot, they've already nailed it. They've already got. If you break it down specifically, now it sounds a little ambiguous, but I'm going to say most of us are consumers. Let's just be honest. You're down in Atlanta. I was down there at Christmas time at I can't even remember what part of Atlanta I was in, but there's a mall downtown, and there were a lot of shoppers there. I can't even remember it right now.
Yeah, down to the city. Could have been
Buckhead.
Buckhead. Then it may have been Phipps or Lennox.
Lennox. It was Lennox. It was
okay.
It was Lennox. It was Lennox.
Yeah, that's Lennox has turned into Bang Bang Town now, man. I mean, it is pretty chaotic down in the city nowadays. You know, nothing like the way it used to be. You know, none like the way it used to be. Like I'm not sure how often you've been to Atlanta, but you remember this spot called Local Luna? They used to have this spot called Local Luna.
Brother, I've only been, you're going to laugh at me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through Atlanta twice, to it once. And
oh man.
I'm in Indiana, man. I'm up here.
Okay.
I'm up here in the Indianapolis area where it's nice and cold up here, man.
Right. But well, Doc, look, let me just to your question as far as investors or consumers.
Yes,
I would say just like anybody, everybody's both. You know, it's just that. Okay. But I know I don't want to play semantics with your question. You're actually talking about in like money wise, investment wise, assets or whatever. But people, you're gonna invest your time and your money into something. Now, whether or not that something is worth a damn is an asset, it's a whole different topic in and of itself. But Black people absolutely invest money into things, and it may not necessarily, be the right things, but, Black folks are heavy investors, as far as time and money wise, but you have to look at what that investment is being, made in. And then, of course, as far as on the consumer standpoint, yeah, absolutely, but what kind of perked my ear up was when TPOT was talking about, people having the ability, to anybody can go ahead and do anything. And that's always been something that I've believed in. And this got me kicked out of a couple panels because when people start talking about, how the deck is stacked against you, this and that and whatever, I think I know all that has to come, all that you can pretty much overcome all that with the right mindset, I mean, I personally believe that, it's a blessing to be disadvantaged for a man. If you're going to go after something, if you commit to go after something and you're at a disadvantage, that's actually a blessing, because what that's going to build up in you is resilience and grit. And every day is not going to be a sunny day. And right now we have a culture that's being brought up that they don't even have to face adversity. They just have to perceive adversity in their head and they're done. They're done. Man down, woman down. They need help. They need counseling. They need a safe space. They just have to perceive it. So I'm a glass half full type of person. I see that as an opportunity for the person who says, you know what? I'm going to be the polar opposite of that, because I know how they're going to react when the shit hits the fan. Now, if I'm competing against that person, and I take the opposite approach, call me crazy, but if I take the opposite approach with my mind and train my mind to welcome disadvantage, to welcome opportunity, I know when the shit hits the fan, he's going to fall down. I'm going to keep going and I'm going to win. Because unless and until they stop, a merit-based society and just give everybody the same thing and everybody gets an equal share, you will get ahead based on what you achieve and what your merit gives you by just outworking the next person. And I don't see that model coming to an end in this society anytime soon. So I just think that other mindset is all for the birds. But yeah, and again, I kind of got a little bit into the weeds, man. But that's kind of.
I mean that is part of the I mean that's all. See, the question I pose is a lot of different scenarios to this question. Mine is one. TPOT has got one. But at the end, here is the real question. Are they getting an ROI? You know what an ROI is, a return on investment. Do you get a return on investment for spending your money on a tangible item like a car, or do you get your money spending your money and investing? Now I hear the word Bitcoin. I don't have any Bitcoin. I'm not me. I don't know. I'm not on that yet. The judge and jury is still out on that.
I have some, but I watch it because it's been fluctuating lately. It was down 7% the other day, but I checked today, it was up 5% today. So it kind of fluctuates.
Right.
I don't have a lot of money invested into it. I got more money invested into stocks. I actually cashed out some of my stocks to buy some Bitcoin. I don't know if that was necessarily a good idea. But I did it just to play around with it. But I have stock in other things. I have stock in Ford, I have stock in Apple, I have stock in Terminex Holdings, and I also have I own stock in Walmart. So I'm more comfortable with my stocks because it's not as unpredictable. Bitcoin is somewhat unpredictable at times, man. It is. I mean,
I hear
it
crypto.
ebbs and flows.
Clue says he trades crypto. There's another guy, and we know him. Isn't he not talking about crypto? We've heard of him. Solo TV 84, Solomon Jones. I know he was talking about it.
Yeah.
Stocks, and it depends on what kind of stock. If you have common stock or preferred stock as well. I believe is it common stock. I had some of that at Marriott. That really didn't change, but it's your preferred stock that goes up and down. You get dividends, and you also got to be careful because you're going to be taxed on that. Shout out to Brother Trey. He says I'm getting what is it, FedEx?
Forex.
Yeah. Had to put my glass on. I'm getting Forex. Well, that's what we need to do as brothers. And I know Tommy Jean, she's got some stock too.
There's also real estate, and some people is investing in real estate with actually outputting, putting up the entire capital. I've seen people doing that too. I believe it's REI. I'm not sure the term. I'm not invested too much into crypto. I've been dabbling into it, but I'm really just at the testing out phase. But I've invested in multiple other businesses, industries that I don't even know nothing about. I'm actually in the process of starting a carpet cleaning business. I got some people. Yeah, right now it's just a bunch of Mexicans that's doing it, and my cousin is already working for someone. He already has the thing. I said, bro, I'll just get all of the same equipment, hire you, pay him a little bit more, and I'll get my hands dirty too. If I got to clean some carpets, but ideally, I'm just trying to open the business, and hire a worker. I'll hire Mexicans too. They have ones that go stand in Home Depot. You know what I mean? I don't know if they got that out here. Yeah, bro, I'll pull them up. Yeah. Why not? Why not? It's still quote unquote black owned. You know what I mean?
I'm like
come on, Jose.
I'm like Brother TPOT and Preem. I'd rather get it my own because I'm not going to really, even I'm not going to be busting my hump on YouTube trying to make money. I'm sure the rest of you guys aren't either. Go ahead, Preem.
Yeah, I was just gonna chime in on the home services. The brother who was talking about getting into the home services sector with the cleaning business is
Yes.
I've been in that industry for about 20 years.
Wow.
And
Oh, snap.
fortunate. One little bit of advice, and I've made every mistake possible. I'm not saying anything that you said is a mistake. I would just say the biggest thing that's made the biggest impact positively in my business has been the type of customer that I chose to work for or to go after. Oftentimes in business, people complain about their customers. They don't pay. They don't do this. They don't do that. I always like to tell folks, the customer you got is the customer you went and got. And my advice would be always go high end. And high end doesn't mean white. High end doesn't mean this, doesn't mean that. The same person that would pay, there are people who will pay $150 for, whole house of carpet cleaning. God bless them. There are people who would pay $1,500 for the same
So when you
square
say
footage.
high end, are you making a reference to the marketing?
Correct. The marketing and the type of customer that you want to go after. I would say, just to cut through the chase, I would begin networking. I always say, if you don't have direct access to that end user, to that high end customer, you always want to think who else has access to that customer, whose trust, whose advice I can leverage. In that sector, in the home services, first thing that comes to mind are interior designers. Interior designing, I'm not sure if you're in a major city, major metropolitan city, but it typically
I
have
am.
trade groups. Which one?
I'm in the Bay Area, Oakland,
Oh
San
man.
Francisco.
Please, y'all.
And what I was
Oh
gonna say,
man. Yeah.
I have other businesses. So I have a recording studio out here, for music, photography, etc. So I do have other high end clients. This is just
Mhm.
another business, and I appreciate all of the
Hey,
information because I have never done any type of cleaning business, and I actually didn't want it to just be carpet cleaning. I was going to start out with just that, but ultimately, see how it goes and expand it further than that.
yeah.
But do you think it would be smart to, with the photography music clients that I have, to do a crossover of marketing to them too? Because they do have money, but it's kind of on the fence if it's that particular crowd. You know what I mean? That you were making a reference to what you want to market to.
Yeah, and again, and everything is time and energy. It just depends on where you want to put your time and energy in. It's just that the thinking is someone, a homeowner or consumer who can afford an interior designer or works with an interior designer, they're used to paying premium dollars for services. you know so someone may pay a ton of money for a shoot or something that's production related, but they may not have the same value mindset when it comes to services, home services. So when you're dealing with, like, when you're networking with like designers who have access, they have access to people who are already paying a premium on something that's in that category that you're working in, home services. So again, someone who may pay you a couple grand, several thousand, or tens of thousands, whatever your rate is for something that's music related, may not have the same standard or perceive home services in the same way. You may go to the crib, be like, "Dude, you live like a fucking pig." You know what I'm saying? They ain't paying for shit.
Shout out to Trey.
That'd be like, got him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trey, the NBD. I sell cannabis to white people, not going to front. And he
Hey,
also
me either. I gotta grow up. I can show the plants.
he says also
All legal though.
U.S. truck drivers aren't HV no matter how much we make. And shout out to Free Zone Lou. Forex is on the move. And of course, Trey again, get you a 6-pack of Guatemalas. They're in that home business as well. And that's Hood Conservative. Shout out to him as well.
Hey, to the brother who says truck drivers aren't high value. You determine if you're high value. You
Hold
know?
on, who said that?
Yeah.
That's kind
Yeah,
of an outlandish statement.
it's up. You determine that if you are or are not high value, not
Yeah,
not
because
some outside party. Nah,
yeah, there's no high value judge or
exactly,
no high value council where
exactly,
you get voted in like a secret fraternity, and then when someone else is because that's a heavy charge, right? To claim this person or this profession is not
exactly,
high value. Now we have to unpack what your profession is. What is your profession?
exactly.
Oh, you a plumber? Oh, you this? Oh, you just an internet dweeb? How are you high value?
Yeah, you
Correct,
don't have to work in the corporate world to be high value or
correct,
wear a suit to be high value. I'm
correct.
just going to say that. I mean, like I said, I work in the construction industry.
And that's all subjective, right? I
Exactly,
know
It
exactly,
is. It's
exactly.
all subjective.
And
because the even the whole concept around high value has been around before any of us has been around. Samuels popularized it, but he said repeatedly, "That's not my phrase." He put specific parameters around it, but not
exactly.
everybody holds what he says to be gospel, and this is the way. Now, some people may agree with those parameters, or some people may have their different guidelines and standards.
He said I was
So when it
joking.
comes to high
Yeah,
value,
yeah.
it's
Trey,
very
you
subjective.
joking.
Yeah,
Trey,
I'm not being serious, bro. Trey,
Trey,
if you
Trey,
was joking,
Trey.
man.
Yeah, he
My
was
bad.
joking.
I'm not being serious if you was just joking. But brother does have a point. It's a good thing that you even dropped that, as a joke, is that shout out to the big homie Kevin. Like you say, he popularized it, he came up, he put the parameters around it, and that's on him. But whether you want to call yourself high value, or if you look at my hashtag, which is HPPM, wasn't picked up from him. I was been saying this back when me and Kevin was on Obsidian together back in
Yeah, I remember
2017.
when you guys were
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Obsidian.
It's about being, high performance. And I determine what being a high performance black man is by my standard, by me. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at no other man and be like, is he high performance? I said, no, that's my thing. That's some shit that I
Right.
came up with. That's a standard that I wake up, and bitch slap myself in the head and be like, okay, you're gonna be on some high performance shit today. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be a high performance black man today.
Shout
So
out,
that's so it's up to each of ourselves to hold us as, or to hold our individual self up to a certain standard. And we're the judge, jury, and execution. That's just my belief. That's
well,
just my belief.
shout out to Trey again. Blue collar dudes always caught hell in the community. Well,
Hey,
He's right.
hey, I am a card carrying James Evan blue collar motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers
Right.
tell me all the time, man, you walk like your shit don't stink. I mean, because again, it's up to you. It's up to you. You decide. You know what I'm saying? I decided what the hell I am.
now I
You
have
know
this
what I'm
question.
like?
And I heard this YouTuber named Crazy Bras said a long time ago. He was from New Orleans, and he was talking about some of the sisters that they wouldn't date blue collar guys.
Shit.
Now he was saying, okay, if a guy in construction is making $100,000 a year, and the guy in the corporate world is making $100,000 a year, what's the difference? $100,000 is $100,000, but they want to try in the suit.
It's a test. Now, I will say this. There is a certain segment, and I'm not saying this from like, I got all this grand experience. I'm Mr. Know-It-All. We're here talking. I appreciate being on here. I'll probably talk the most of the last 5 minutes, to your brothers, and I have converted with another, human being the last couple of days, you know what I'm saying? But to there is a segment of this society to where you may have that bourgeoisie class that goes by title, this and that, whatever, but they make up a very, very small minority. And God bless them, they need someone to have a certain title or a certain designation so that they can talk about it at their parties, or so that it comes off well, but that's a very small minority segment of the population. I know from my personal experience that sisters who are educated, got degrees, make six figures, look at the blue collar guys, like, that's all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's a test. What's that thing that they used to say that pimps you used to actually do to females to kind of like knock them down or break them down or something like that, to kind of demoralize or whatever? It's like a test, and it's a test to see if the guy's going to go ahead and pass. But if you wake up every day, and back to the whole pimp line, you have that type of mentality, when I look in the mirror, all whom I do not see are beneath me. you know what I'm saying, and you don't have that inferiority complex, them motherfuckers, that's actually gonna pull them to you. That's actually gonna pull them to you because it's just confidence. It's just confidence, irrespective of your job title or what you make. It's just confidence. If that were true, how can we have the same conversations in the black manosphere? Or let me just not. I'm not saying that. Okay, don't judge me on that and say, you know, if I'm guilty. Well, everybody doesn't have that conversation. But how can those same two conversations be had? One, that sisters judge guys based on their income and they look down on blue collar guys, and then two, all these sisters making all this money are fucking these Pookies and these Ray Rays who ain't shit. Yeah. How those two conversations? How what
doesn't
am I missing?
Make sense, right? They claim they want the guy in the suit, but you got these women who, like he said, you know, they may have a little money, may have a career or something, and they get knocked up by dudes that they're get knocked up by dudes that they're not getting knocked up by dudes in suits.
Exactly. So that shows you that. But you see, the thing is, then the conversation, the guys to the conversation. See, these women, they don't know what they want. They don't know. My whole thing is no. That just tells you that whole spiel is bullshit. It has nothing to do with them. It's bullshit. There's no validity to it whatsoever because it's not just black women. You know, there's other women who do that. It's just bullshit. So what? So how can me as a guy, if I know that this is bullshit, how can I use this bullshit to benefit me? I need to look into that and find out what the X factor is. Oh, what is it that supersedes all that shit? Confidence, self-esteem, self-image, self-worth.
See, bingo. But there it goes. Most people,
so let me work on that,
feels inferior. Even these men, though, even these men of every race. Why you think there's MGTOW? Those dudes were acting inferior to their wives.
Yep.
Most of these dudes vagina worship. Why do you think OnlyFans, and what do they say? What is the oldest profession? It couldn't be the oldest profession if dudes and simps wasn't continuously funding it, right? Even dudes that are very wealthy and successful, from patriarchal structures, intact families and communities, politicians, etc. What do? They still pay for prostitution too, you know. So people are railing against the very things that they really don't want to tear down. And when these dudes are sleeping with stepmoms, it's because they felt inferior. They felt that's all they can truly get. How many dudes really bow down? What is happy wife, happy life? Essentially saying that the husband is inferior to his wife. And then when these chicks, they all this colorist babble, etc., they've been made to feel inferior. So what do? Filters, makeup, all of this stuff. Everyone is acting inferior. The men and the women. Brazilian butt lips. If you're secure with yourself, you wouldn't want that. Dudes are feeling inferior about their weight. Dudes are feeling inferior about their height. They may not say that. These are uncomfortable things to say. But we know that most people feel that way. So when they settle down with a chick that's unruly or big or has multiple kids, it's because most people believe you are what you attract. They don't want to say those words, but that's what they believe.
All right, let me get back to my chat. Shout out to Trey. They want control. My wife, BFF, a nurse dating a reformed poop. And Clue, the average drag can't move like I move because they got debt. So that's when you got debt, you really can't move. Free zone. Shout out to you, bro. Those women will want an entrepreneur or business owner that makes less money than a blue collar guy just cause the title amazing.
Again, that's just a smidget, a very small, infinitesimal, if that's the right way to say the word, infinitesimal. Is that how you say it? Infinitesimal portion of the females out there even function like that. Yeah, trust me, trust me.
Real shit right there, though. That's true. That's true. And
I mean, there's a lot that the individual man has under his control, his power, that doesn't have to do with his paycheck, his payroll, his job title, that he can do to himself to surmount that. Even if that is a thing, there's so much that the individual person can do by working on their self that they to go ahead and surmount that right there. That's nothing. That's nothing to be.
Here's a question to you, Preem, or Brother TPOT, since we've been
I'll
up
let
here
Teapot get it if he's still here.
Yeah, he's still there. Since we've been up here. Okay. All right. Do you see any changes in what they call the manosphere now, today? You see anything different now than what we had back in, because all of us were up 2016 and 2017. To me, it was a little different. I see it becoming a little bit, in my humble opinion, just me now. Besides you still got the Red Supremes and Minister Japs out there. Shout out to them and Rangos. But for the most part, a number of these new guys coming up, they're a little bit off. Mama's boys. What do you all? I mean, Reg is still out there too. He's different. He's different. Well, some of his family members. Go ahead.
That's gonna happen with anything, right?
Yeah.
You can't keep stray dogs from walking into your front yard if you don't have a fence, right?
Right.
So I mean, there is nothing to fence anyone out. There's no way to keep someone off of YouTube. You can't stop people from claiming a particular set or sector. You can't do it. So, of course, you're going to see people come in that may carry the same message as people who came before them. You're going to see people come in who have a different message than the people that came before them. And you have these people, like I said, they may claim the spear or claim the space or not claim the spear, not claim the space. So you don't really have control of this stuff, and that's a thing, right? I mean, a lot of us get on here and think we can actually control what people do up here.
That's a fact.
You can't. The only thing you can control is when you flip on your stream and what you do on your page. You can't stop nobody from talking. You can't stop nobody from streaming. You can't control or dictate what they talk about. The only thing your ass can do is make a video trying to quote unquote counter their narrative. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. You're always going to see changes. You're always going to see differences. And some things you'll like, some things you won't like. Some people you might be fond of and have an affinity for, and some people you'll be like, this guy sucks. That's all part of the deal, though, right? I mean, it's like, because on the internet, it's like being at a flea market, right? It's like being at like some fair, right? You walk around, there's 50 different stores, right? They're selling jewelry, they're selling clothes, they're selling sneakers, they're selling food, hats. You walk through there, you don't stop at every single booth. You stop at the ones that catch your eye. And I think media is the same way. You don't stop at every booth. You check out the ones that you like. In one booth, you may come see him every other week because you like the type of clothes he sell or you like the hats that he sell. But then again, that other booth over there that sell belts, you walk by it. You don't like his belts. You don't like his hats. I mean, that's what it is, man. The internet is like, especially when you talk about YouTube. It's like a goddamn flea market, man. It's like a flea market and everybody trying to make whatever dollar or impact or message or whatever they trying to do. You got everybody doing it. But what people don't understand is this. And after I say this, I'll shut up.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Most people that are on YouTube are not people who create material. They're not quote unquote contributors. They are what?
Followers.
Consumers of the material. That's most people. That's most people. Most people that are on YouTube are not people who make videos and stream like us. Most of them are not. They're not. So when you're on here and you're a person that creates material, that alone puts you in a minority. Because most people are in this damn box to the right of us. All right? They're there. They're writing. They're typing. They're saying crazy, ridiculous nonsense, a lot of them. That's the biggest crowd. If you were to take all the people, especially in this particular circle of influence, and put them in a room, that room wouldn't have to be that big. Wouldn't have to be that big. But if you tried to put all the people who watch our crap into one room, you need Yankee Stadium. You need Madison Square Garden. You need room. All right, and that's the big crowd. Cause see, that's the market, right? That's the market, and the market always dictates what happens, right? It's the market that dictates, because you can be getting up here talking some ground breaking stuff, and guess what? If the market don't want to hear it, you won't go anywhere. And likewise, you can be up here talking stone cold foolishness, but if the market likes it, you'll be successful. Because like I said, all these people writing to the right of us here, to the right of this screen, that is the market. That's it.
Facts. That's why it's sometimes some of what we do, it might not get the presence of what others do because it's not entertaining. And I realize that. And you said something very important, Brother X, that hey, we're not up here trying to make money off of YouTube either, because we got other things going on.
Hell no, because if I was trying to make money off of YouTube, I'd be doing different stuff. I wouldn't be
Me
doing
too.
what I'm doing.
I
All right,
wouldn't
I'd be doing some shit that make money. You know, I'd be playing to the crowd. You know, quiet as kept. When I get on YouTube and talk, I talk about the stuff I like. I talk about the stuff I
And
get
that's
the rest
something
of it.
that's true, because I see your numbers too. I said, well, he does his streams.
Yeah. Sometimes
And
I don't even hit 500, but you know what? I don't give a damn. Because you know what? I'm not about pleasing the crowd. I don't try to give the crowd what they want. I'm done with that shit. I'm too old. What I do is I get on and I talk about the stuff that I think about, the stuff that I like. If someone hit me up and say, you know, X, let's do a stream about X, Y, and Z, I will do that. But for the most part, man, when y'all see me on my streams, I'm doing stuff that interests me. I've read about it. I've saw it. I've seen an article in the newspaper, you know, something like that. I mean, I don't let the crowd dictate what I do, man. I used to do that. Them days are over, man.
yeah, a long time ago we tried that. I remember I
Yeah,
tried that
them
myself.
days
It
are over.
didn't work. Wasn't doing it.
Because I realized I woke up one day and realized that I don't need this YouTube shit. For a while when I first got on, it was almost like, oh man, you know, I need it. Then one day I woke up and I was like, you know what? I don't need this shit.
Yeah, because I can remember the days, Preem, you, me, we were. I mean, I was on Regis stuff. I saw Preem on Regis stuff too. We were on Angry Man stuff, and it was back in 2016, 2017.
Crazy days, man.
Oh,
Crazy days.
yeah.
And I think to YouTube's credit and to the brothers within the circle of influence credit, it has evolved, right?
Yes.
It has evolved to a degree. But a lot of things are coming full circle, because, you know, if you listen to brothers today in 2022, if you was to dial the clock back like 5 years, they're railing against something they were for 5 years ago. And likewise, what they were for 5 years ago, they're against now. So, you know, there's
How do you mean? How do you mean?
That element too.
You got like an example?
Yeah, because things change, right? I mean, like for instance, there's always some type of tension going on between one brother and another at any particular time. There's no shortage of that, right?
Right.
But if you look at the people who have problems with each other, all you gotta do is go back and look at one of their videos from like a year and a half ago. Guess what? Them and that person, thick as thieves. Thick as thieves. But now they're at each other's throats, talking about each other's wives and kids and all that kind of stuff. I mean, but if you go back 15, 16 months, thick as thieves. They were thick as thieves. That's where most of the beef comes from, right? It's usually between people who actually used to do streams together. They were buds. They railed against other people side by side. But you look at them now, they hate each other. There's
Is
that
it actual
element.
beef or is it the theater to get the clicks
Boy, that's
and
a good
traffic?
question too.
I think it's a mixture of both. It's a
Yeah.
combination
Yeah.
of both. I mean, because let's be honest here, man. I mean, YouTube is like theater. Me personally, I believe this shit 85% of it is just strictly entertainment. The other 15%, you might learn how to do something, learn how to put a starter in your car or, learn how to, hang sheetrock or some shit. But the other 85%, man, is just freaking entertainment, man. It's not like YouTube. I don't believe YouTube has benefited Black folk that much collectively. Now, I know it's benefited brothers, individually because they make money, they get popular and all that kind of stuff. But collectively, I can't really point to something that YouTube specifically has accomplished for Black folk or something that Black folks have accomplished because of YouTube. Because anything that Black people have accomplished, they could have done it without YouTube. I don't think YouTube was the catalyst to it because I believe YouTube is just a thing, man. This is a high-tech freaking conference call. All right. There's a high-tech conference call where we all get on, and I can be in Canada, and you can be in Florida, and you can be in California, and we can all get up here and talk, show off our graphics and all that kind of nonsense. But what we do usually is what? Exchange ideas. That's what we do more than anything else. Some of those ideas are great. Some of those ideas are okay. Some of those ideas suck. So that's all this is, man. All this
And-
is a place for people to exchange ideas, man. That's what I've always thought of it, and I still think that way now.
And I'm gonna tie that into my response as far as unless you have some super chats you want to jump on or
Oh no, I don't have, brother. I don't even have super chat.
oh okay just stay the thing on the screen. Okay, my bad.
But I will let me
Mhm.
give Clue a shout out there because this goes back to live streaming. So it gave the talentless a chance to make some bread. Now remember before, what did we do before StreamYards? We all
Hey, but doing
Hang
that
out.
YouTube,
Hang
that is
outs.
a talent. We
we
can't
all
act
did
like it's
Google
not a
Hangouts.
talent.
Yes.
Yeah. Hang out.
And I mean, but I definitely my position is on the evolution question that the Black manosphere has definitely evolved, and I think just one of the things that I looked at and saw that as proof of that was the meetup this year. And to tie that into what TPOT was just saying, I don't think without this platform, this YouTube platform that gave a lot voices to a lot of different brothers, that meetup would have spawned up out of that if it had just stayed in blog format or in internet website format. I think having a chance to kind of engage with these brothers, on their platforms, to kind of get to know them, to see them, people open up, their lives and whatever, that kind of, made it more relatable. And that made it natural for them, to go ahead and to do that first meetup. Now, as far as the meetup, is concerned, I think that's where we kind of could get into the difference between people. There, you have those. There was like this little segment of Manosphere guys. I guess it was called like the 2.0, the streamers or whatever.
Right.
And when they came out with their thing, they were talking shit about all, the 1.0. I don't keep track of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. They were talking junk about, like the guys that came before them, like the Obsidians and the guys who were actually out there. That were actually in TPOTs and the guys. I mean, of course, they weren't speaking to TPOT directly, but they were speaking to that segment of the folks that were putting out content. And what I said at the time, I said, these guys, these new guys, they won't. They're just a fart in the wind because they were pretty shallow. They were doing more response videos than anything. To one of y'all's point, they weren't really producing or creating anything. They didn't have any type of concepts. You know, I mean, a guy like Obsidian wrote a damn book. You know, other guys, you know, they have like bodies of work that would come out with. You know what I'm saying? And they would take a position. One thing that frustrates me to this day and to my grave, and it's unfortunate, you know, to Teapot's point, two brothers was thick as thieves. Me and his brother was thick as thieves. And then some shit happened, and you know, I think, and we fell out. It's C Boogie, and C Boogie, and I'm not gonna, and I know a lot of folks on the stream like, hey, listen, we don't bring no, I'm not gonna bring no drama, but I am gonna say this. It's a slight, and it's a compliment. C Boogie made a huge mistake when he had this concept, this ideology called the matriarchal psychosis that he started with, and he did for some months, and that shit was absolutely golden. It was the high value. It wasn't on the high value thing, but it was his own methodology that he had came up with, and the shit was sound. It was solid. And some of the content and the videos he put out, you know, fleshing it out and unpacking this matriarchal psychosis was so fucking good. But he ditched that instead to go to the, you know, the how to get pussy, you know, thing that he does. And I just thought, I was like, God damn. You know, I mean, it was so original and so good. He should have stuck with it. But again, I digress. But that was what you had in that one genre of brothers that actually had, you know, as Teapot said, had shit they wanted to talk about and wanted to put their position on it. Okay, I see this thing out here, but let me tell you how I see it. Let me spit this to y'all through my prism. And you had guys like that, you know what I'm saying? And those guys, you know, came, and then the 2.0 guys came with a whole streaming thing and just talking shit. I was like, man, don't nobody panic. These guys won't be around too long. And what happened? They went away like a fart in the wind. And those same guys, those same original guys that were that actually have things of substance, they're still here. And not only are they still here, they evolved. And then now all everybody could do is kind of hate, oh, you know, they doing this little meetup thing. It wasn't nothing. Well, I always like to say to folks who and this ties into the comment when folks say, well, you know, ain't nobody show up, or where's the food? What type of hotel? This and that. I always say this to people. I used to say this to people, especially on BJS and those guys that would be like, oh, you know, the deck is stacked against you, this and that. So I always say to folks who said it's so hard out there, the white man, the deck is stacked. I ask them three questions. Now, question number one, what have you tried? Question number two, what have you tried and failed at? Question number three, what have you tried, failed at, didn't quit, and tried again? The folks who always got something to say are the folks who never tried shit. That's why I tip my hat to the guys that did this, because you see, now they're talking about another one. So you have to go out there, and get in the grip and do something and try something. Fuck up, make some mistakes, fall on your face, learn your lessons, and go back at it again.
Hey, be honest, Preem, I was at that. Me and Clue, shout out to Clue. Me and Clue were sitting right next to each other, and I even took some pictures with my cell phone. They weren't the greatest.
Oh, I remember. I'll see your videos.
Well, I drove 9 hours from Indiana down to Atlanta and got stuck in Cleveland, Tennessee, because I opened my big mouth talking stuff in the car, you know, and I got stuck in the mud. But it was fun though, and they're talking about Houston, Texas, and I'll tell people we had 70 to 80 people there. Okay,
nice.
And the people did show up.
Yeah,
we didn't get too many people from Atlanta that showed up.
Well, you know what? Hope, mark me to it. I guarantee you, I'm gonna be in Houston, because you guys have your next one in Houston. Is it Houston or Dallas or somewhere?
Theo was talking about Houston.
Oh yeah. Piece of cake. I'll make that drive.
Oh, you gonna drive?
Yeah, I'd rather drive than fly. I hate flying.
Yeah.
I hate flying. I don't like flying. I mean, unless I'm going, I got to fly. you know, and with the whole COVID thing, it's been a minute since I really needed to have to fly.
I,
I just don't like the whole feeling of being like a piece of cattle, man. And you know, I just don't like being shuffled and hustled around. If it's like under like 10 hours, I'll fucking drive in a heartbeat because I love the solitude. I can think. I love being inside my head. I got shit I can listen to steady. I love fucking driving. I absolutely fucking love driving.
I think I end up doing it again too. 9 hours. I don't mind driving.
I don't mind. Hell no, I don't mind. Even if I got to stay somewhere overnight, I don't mind. I love driving.
Yeah, so I'll probably, I know it's probably less than I can get to Houston in 13 hours. I don't have it, but I'm waiting for the next one. And I will say this about the Manosphere meetup. And I hope TPOT, he got to show up for the next one. I was looking for all that. I was looking for
100%.
Yeah, I know, man. They've been on me, boy. They was
Yeah,
on me.
man.
Oh, man, you gotta
and I hope be easy. Get to the next one. I think
let's get down there. Let's get down there. Chill out.
Man, I'm all down. Where's it gonna be at?
It's gonna be in Houston. Even
I
full
think the
circle
was a great thing. I think it
full
was a great
circle
thing. But I think with the caliber of brothers that was there, I think that meetup could have been pulled off without you two. Because the caliber brothers that was there. I mean, my man Nate was out there. You know, Nate did the organizing. Nate's brilliant. I mean, he could have organized it without you two.
Let me tell you something. Unless you were, and they were, Brother X, it was funny that you said this. People are trying to hate it away. And you know what?
Oh yeah, that's right. I was hired to do the voiceovers for it. I forgot.
He did the voiceover, and people were trying to. He was exactly right. People were trying to hate it away, and it still happened. It's and like I said, Full Circle came out here from Las Vegas. Hoop Jargon came out from California. Trying to get Reg to come out here.
So do you guys have a date already planned or not yet?
You know, I don't know. That's something. I got Nate's number. Nate wanted to do it around election time. I'm like, well, I don't. Maybe we got to do it a Thursday and a Friday and a Saturday. Because people like me are going to drive. Okay, we go drive. I'm with you, Preem. I got to drive. And if it's in Atlanta again, I'm going to drive down there. Atlanta, we came down there. It was right around Thanksgiving. There's too many people down there at Lenox Mall. And good gracious, man. Yeah. So, trying to get down there on Peachtree Street. Now, we drove down there. Now, I did eat down there at Bojangles. We went to was it Riverdale down there? Just south. And
yeah.
They were slow as heck. Yeah, they were slow as heck. We down there. Clue said it November before elections. I'm like, oh man.
Well, the elections like the first, third Tuesday.
Man, you know what I'd have to talk to Nate. I think I like the time December a lot better. Not election time. You know why I like December? Because it was convenient for a lot of us. But let me tell you something. It was fun down there. Okay, met brothers, and when you see people, that's why I'm hoping TPOT. I was hoping to meet him, but next time.
Well,
it'll make it better.
Nate messed it up, Brother Leon, because he had it originally. It was in November.
Oh,
and and I was like, okay, I can make it. And then he changed it to December. That kind of messed me up because in December I go to a lot of equipment auctions. And the equipment auction that I was supposed to go to, it had got canceled, and they made it for the day before the freaking meetup. And I had to get to it, man, because that's kind of what I do.
Indeed.
So I had to get to it because I went to a rain date. I could have came if they hadn't postponed it. They postponed it because one of the auctioneers came down with COVID. So they postponed it, and they made the rain date like a day before the meetup. And I called Nate. I was like, Nate, I ain't going to be able to make it, man, because I'm going to be in freaking Pennsylvania.
Because be looking, because I'll get a chance to speak next time. I wanted to speak, but I came in a little. I came in at Friday at 4:30. You know, my mistake is I should have gone down at Thursday. Just like I mean, it would have been a lot better. I got to see more, but it was still, unless you've been there, and there were some guys that did hate it away, and they were talking, but they didn't go. And I will say this: when you go, you actually meet the brothers in person, and when you get back on panels, you're gonna feel a little different because, hey, I was down there. You're gonna have much more of a network and a bonding.
Mhm.
I just look for more people to be there because regardless of the mistakes that were made.
Hey, so Leon, to that point, I would say, and you guys could expound on this too, because I know
Yeah.
X was talking about how you didn't need YouTube, which I agree to an extent. But there's a lot of people that could have built something like this outside of YouTube, but they wasn't doing it. Like to Preem's point, like, bro, did you even try? And then if you only relying, I know Brother Nate's channel probably got shut down at one point, other people's channel. So if you only relying on YouTube to contact people, right? You need other channels. I know some of y'all you got each other number and then email. There's a whole other platforms. You need to have multiple platforms and infrastructure to where
Boom.
they could
Boom,
shut
boom, boom.
down YouTube anytime. And then some people they're like, oh man, you trying to look for 411 to try to email, and it's like, bro, you did 5-6 streams with him. You didn't get his information by now, so
Yeah,
now they
my
shut him down.
and I'll tell individuals. Brother X has got my email. The best thing to do is, and that's something I'll talk to Nate about. Um, get up a spreadsheet with
Boom.
emails on it.
Boom.
I
100%.
mean, I mean, and get everybody's. We all got cell phone numbers. Now I use my real name. You don't have to use your real name, but just know who's calling or who.
Even with the cell phone, you can download an app. It's called Text Now. They got a bunch of other ones, but Text Now is a pretty good one. It's free, and you can get another number. So it's basically a wireless number. They'll give you a free number. Just pass that number out. At any time, you can just delete the app, or change the number. So if a person didn't even want to give out his real number, and then that way you would only give that number to a select amount of people anyway. So it would be a good way to screen the calls without actually having to screen the call. But yeah, it's called Text Now. And then most of these apps, anyways, you can call and video chat. Discord, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. You can do, since Facebook tried to rival Zoom, they try to rival everybody. You can do a video
Yeah, I even
message chat like 50 people. I'm not saying you should do it, but you have the capability. So
which you're right there, B. Because I also which I'll be doing some videos over the weekend on my other channel, the QCIS channel, formerly the Mind of STEM channel. I usually do Zoom on that channel. I like Zoom. That's where I start teaching people about science, technology, engineering, and math. Smaller channel, but again, that's an effective channel because the type of information. And I'm like Brother TPOT here. I don't do YouTube. I used to do it. I don't do it every day like that. One stream a week. That's about it. I'm happy with that because I got other things going on.
Shit. Can't do it every day. Can't do it.
Some people do though.
It's impossible. It'd be totally impossible for me to do this every
especially if
day.
you ain't getting paid for it, that would be ludicrous.
Well,
It's totally impossible for me to do this every day.
I just have to ask. I'm curious. Now, the last time I saw, well, I know if you do super chats, YouTube gets like 30%. So there's somebody 100. So they're getting that's a huge chunk of change. And I don't even have advertisements, or what did we call that back in the day? Ads.
That's a huge chunk we're going to
AdSense.
be getting.
See, I don't even have that running on my channel. And how much does YouTube get for having AdSense running
Now
on
they
it?
give you like a tenth a tenth of a cent
A tenth
for
of
a
a cent.
view. You get a tenth of a tenth of a penny. So you
That's
have
why
to,
to be
Okay,
they
okay.
actually don't want people saying like hit the cash app. You know what I mean? People still do it, but they would prefer you not, because they want you to hit the super chat so they can get 30.
yeah.
Why would they want you hitting the cash app when they can get 30% out your super chat? And then even with people doing the cash app, you got to be pretty cunning and clever with
Yeah.
with keeping the documentation, because when they passed the quote unquote American Rescue Act, they lumped a bunch of BS in there where they're forced the third party apps to report to the
$600.
IRS. Exactly, a
600,
600 threshold.
600.
So if I send Preem 300 and then he sends me 300 back, technically $600 has went deposited and went withdrawn from that account. So they'll send them a 1099K form and they say, hey, if everything, all your ducks is in a row, you have nothing to worry about. But you still have to prove everything with documentation and say, hey, no, this was for a bill. This wasn't for a goods or service. Because and it's also like a OnlyFans YouTube content creator tax, right? All the OnlyFans
There you
chicks
go.
deposit their money straight to Cash App. Don't really, and you can take out. It's something you was able to send like 15K a day. You know what I mean? That's a pretty sizable amount that you can take out per day. And then YouTube, right? People saying hit the Cash App. Now IRS, they said they're going after they said we're going after the tax cheats, and so the rich pay their fair share. But we all know Elon Musk is not sending Cash App or Google Pay or Apple Pay. You know what I mean? Plus
Correct.
they dodge taxes legally.
Clue says we wouldn't have to hit the Cash App if YouTube wasn't censoring to protect the punk ass Democratic Party. Well, there's one.
So on the YouTube money thing, and Teapot, I know you don't do this for money, and not do you 401.
Me either.
But I'm not sure if Bees, but I don't want to get into into a guessing game or speculation. But we all know there was a young lady that just lost a big time YouTuber who lost a lawsuit for $4 million.
Yeah, we know
Right.
who that is.
Yeah.
Down in your neck of the woods, Preem.
Yeah. Okay. So then there was another young YouTuber, another YouTube female who made a video, said, yeah. I can show you guys the numbers. I can prove based on her subscriber numbers, her this and her that she makes well over $10 million a year on YouTube. So that $4 million judgment ain't nothing to her.
Right.
Then I think last week I saw Grandmaster Troll made a video to where the girl who got sued, who lost a lawsuit, said, I ain't got it. So I say those three things to ask this: based on her subscriber numbers, I know she's got a bunch of links in her thing. Is she balling like that into the millions? Someone like
I don't think there's too many people that we're aware of that's making $10 million a freaking year on YouTube. You might have a people who may be making close to $1 million. Depending on what they do, because you figure if you're up in the $1 million range, that means you're making more than like $100,000 per month, which is pretty goddamn good. I wish I made that.
I wish I could do that.
If you're talking about getting into the millions, you're making at least what, $90,000, $100,000 per month.
That's a big chunk of
to
change.
have $1 million. So I mean, I don't know if people are making that kind of money off of AdSense alone and super chats.
and that's
it
what
might
I'm trying to
be
figure
a
out.
few.
Is there a way to kind of like gauge it to like, okay, if this person has 2 million subscribers and each video gets 400,000 views, then it's a safe bet that they're getting X amount a month if they have their AdSense and the super chats.
Yes.
Is there like an easy way to figure out? Because I'm not trying to get in anybody's pockets. Trust me, I'm not that guy.
No, for what I'm looking up right now, it appears, according to this, on January 6, 2022, that she has a estimated net worth of 1.5 million.
Okay.
That's still
So I don't know if it's more or less. Let's just round it off and say that it's 2 million. So if her net worth is 2 million, that would fit the narrative that she's coming out now and that she doesn't have the money to pay for it. And then also, if she does have the money to pay for it, I think that's common practice amongst wealthy people to kind of skirt their way out of it, even if they
Yeah.
do have the money. I
Well,
point to
Stop,
you know
you.
what? You know
They
what? You know
for
you know you know on the
stop the
on
bankruptcy.
you know what? On the funny tip, I do remember 50 Cent doing that. Because 50 Cent was going through some shit back in the day, like 4 or 5 years
Oh
ago.
yeah,
And
he
that
was said
brother
he was
showed up
broke.
to the court with a damn Kmart 3-piece suit on, looking broke as hell.
I remember.
I
Yeah,
said,
I
50,
Hey, but
remember.
before
I said,
he
50,
was,
you
didn't
a
he just
fool.
buy a new car or something
Yeah,
like
that nigga
weeks
showed up to
before?
court with some fucking with some pro wings on, man. I said, 50 Cent, you a fool, dog.
Yeah, he did that. Shout out to Lemon Pepper
He
Wings.
said, he
He
said
said
I ain't got
Gamer Channels.
nothing. 50
Gamer
said I
Channels
ain't
make
got
money.
nothing.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
I
do.
Yeah,
just I just seen
gamers do make
another
money.
report. So it says her estimated worth. It says 5 million. So let's just go with that, right? So even if it says 5 million and the judgment is 4 million,
Well,
you
well,
know what I mean?
yeah,
That's what.
but someone like me, I'm just my whole thing is I'm just curious as far as is there like a hard way to crunch YouTube numbers? And again, not specifically for her, but just to see, you know, just to see, is there like an easy way to formalize the YouTube number thing?
Okay, so what question are you saying specifics? Are you
Okay, so
looking
okay,
for if someone
if
has a
someone
million
has
subscribers?
a million subscribers and an average video gets 100,000 views, it's safe to say they're probably getting X amount from YouTube every month.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100,000 views. Yeah,
Yeah, and
Just
I
give
mean,
me one
and a
moment.
million subscribers. I just want to see if someone would be like, yeah, you could probably at the conservatively, they're probably getting X amount of dollars a month if they got a million subscribers and every and their average videos, and they're putting out 3 videos a week, and each video gets 100,000 views.
Yeah,
yeah.
if you crunch the numbers,
Mm-hmm.
considering what YouTube pays out on AdSense, this is just AdSense.
Okay.
I mean, if you're getting 100,000 views and you have AdSense on it, you can probably make anywhere between, depending on how many views, depending on how many commercials play on your
Mm-hmm.
particular video, that comes out to somewhere between $500 and $2,500 per 100,000 views. Now, if you're getting more than that, now let's say you're getting 300,000 views, you can make upwards of $7,500 a month. It all depends on what
Okay.
you're making.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It all depends on your views, what kind of commercials, how many, how long people are watching, because I think it has to be watched at least 15 seconds to be considered a view. And I
Yeah.
think the AdSense has to play within that 15 seconds that you watch for you to get paid. I don't know exactly how it works, but I know 100,000 views is anywhere between $500 and $2,500 on 100,000 views. So all you
Thank
got to
you.
do is start
Thank
to
you.
multiply. If you're getting 1 million views, you're talking what?
Yeah, it
$25,000.
said what I'm looking at right now. It says a million views about on a scale between 5 to 25K. If you
Yeah,
reach a billion views, you're looking
No.
at 300 to 500K.
Wow.
yeah. So
Okay.
it all
Okay.
depends on what you
Okay.
produce and what you're
Appreciate
putting
that.
out.
Appreciate that.
Of
Thank you.
course, the more views you get, the more
And that
money
was
you're
just
gonna
for
make.
ad revenue. What I read off those actual figures. So that was strictly for the ads. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Because back in the days, we weren't doing cash apps. We were doing AdSense. Shout out to Melly Mel. Yeah, remember that? We were doing AdSense, and I remember I was monetized, and we didn't have to have 4,000 views, or was it 4,000 hours of watch time?
Yeah, 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000
Man,
hours of watch time.
they really changed up on it.
Now
Yeah, because
they changed
YouTube
requiring
pays what, right?
more watch time or less watch time.
No, you got to have
More.
more watch
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And the 1,000. So you got to have
Yeah, you got to have 1,000 and you got to have 4,000 hours of watch time to, before they'll consider, because you have to apply, for monetization. They don't, it just
Yeah,
doesn't
you just
kick
don't
in
hand it out either.
automatically. Now you got to
Nate,
apply for it.
Nate tried it, and I even tried it one time, and they looked at, and they'll go and look at everything on your channel.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I said,
You too volatile, Brother Leon. They're not gonna let you do it. They're
but
not gonna let you
yeah, they
do
went all the way, that
Which is
stuff I was putting out. They'll go through
which
your
is
whole channel, your whole
yeah, and that's why to Preem's point earlier when you said your boy switched up to another direction, I call it economics over ethics. People had a certain level of ethics that they were preaching, but it comes down to economics in that I want to get paid for my time. So they go a different route and say, look, this is what I'm going to talk about. Because even when I'm looking, with
But
the YouTube,
but his
it's a
video
big
counts
thing.
went down. His video count has never his video count has never recovered since then. Two, he got into a niche that's like a dime a dozen. Everybody's doing the how to get laid thing. Everybody's done the how to get laid thing. There's gonna be someone new tomorrow. There's gonna be 10 more dudes tomorrow doing how to get pussy tomorrow.
Right.
He did that was original. One, two, that was proprietary. Three, that was evergreen. It was evergreen. It had legs. It's a methodology. It's an ideology. It was the equivalent of the whole high value shit before the high value shit came out.
Now, does anybody
Yeah,
understand?
he made a
He
miscalculation.
made a miscalculation. He was thinking short term instead of long term, in my opinion.
Now, does anybody understand how to read the analytics? I mean, I'm kind of fuzzy on it.
Oh no, not the YouTube analytics.
Oh,
But like
Yeah,
BI, like business intelligence analytics, I kind of down your path. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, your YouTube analytics, man, they're pretty easy to understand.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's pretty laid out.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
see
laid
some
out,
people.
man.
I know, Brother Reg. He had his subscriber count off, but he turned it off, and he's going to a members only format, which I know why he did it. And shout out to Brother Reg. He didn't want the trolls.
The thing is, you would need to cater towards your audience. Now, it could backfire, right? Like Preem said, you could go down, right? You could start backpedaling in terms of views and subscribers, but some people make a judgment call or, try to jump in head first in a particular niche, but the analytics is pretty cut forward. So, a lot of people they make the drama or the trendy topics to try to engage, a certain audience or demographic.
Now, what about that other one?
Because you can gear it, you can focus it, right? Because your analytics, they don't just tell you, your view count, subscriber count. They tell you stuff that your audience watches, gender, demographics, where they from, how long they watched, how long was your most sustained freaking viewers? Like I said,
Longest view, country.
Yeah, your longest view, country. People who watch your stuff also watches this person. So you get all of that in there.
Now, what about that other one called Patreon? I mean, I haven't put anything on that yet. I think you got to pay for Patreon too, don't you?
Yeah, there's some other ones I believe people use. It's called Odyssey and Substack. Those I don't believe you have to pay for, but even Discord is pretty good too. Exactly. Those are pretty good to check out, and
Twitch
apparently they don't censor you as much. But it's a lot more racist rhetoric over there, from what some of my white homies tell me. It's a whole white Wakanda over there. So you just gotta. But for me, I'm just like whatever, you know what I mean. But some people get a little bit sensitive when they hear certain words.
Like I said, I've never been over there. I never even been to BitChute and Twitch. I mean, I know they're still up.
Yeah, those are big ones. People stream off too. If you could actually, depending on the package you got, you could stream simultaneously if you had a following to Twitch, Facebook, Periscope. I forgot whichever other ones they have. YouTube. You can do that all simultaneously.
Shout out to Melly Mel, walk with a panel brother. think you might be muted, Mel.
Hello?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I turned my mic on. It's the topic for today, y'all. Just got
Yeah, we just freestyling about YouTube. We talked about, and then we may go back and talk about some money, but we're talking about how this YouTube stuff works. And Brother TPOT and me, we're not in it for the money. We just put out what we want to put out. Not that we
Hey,
don't.
I got a topic. Is any of you guys seen you know who Jawan Howard is?
Yeah, he used to play for the Washington Wizards.
Kareem didn't waste no time with the chuckle. Hold on, all right. Let me set this alley-oop up. So apparently he was mad because he thought the dude did a Bush League tactic, calling some timeout, etc. They end up was already getting blown out by over double digits. He got in the dude's face. They was arguing. He reached over. They called it a swipe. Some called it a punch. It looked like a slap. So, do you think that he did a apology? He got suspended afterwards, and I think like fine, like 40 or 50K. So, y'all could just expound on whatever I just said, but I just want to say, do you think it would behoove men to control their temper and not look so irrational and out of control, and dare I say, effeminate in moments like that? Y'all could take that away.
Right. Men simping for women sells the most, I think. Shout out to Lemon Pepper Wings 69. Yeah, I heard about that, Joe. I remember when Juwan Howard played for Michigan, then he played for the Wizards, and he was a good player, in my opinion. He was a good player.
The first one of the things, and I that came to mind, and it didn't come to mind in his defense, was Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight.
Oh. I grew up with. Oh, you're right. You right there.
Hey, hold
on.
I was gonna say, ain't that the
right
Hoosiers?
I don't see Bobby Knight do some shit on the basketball court.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's ever put his hands on another coach.
He's put his hands on some players, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I mean, that was what came to my mind first. Was kind of like, okay, let me. It's like, blink, take a breath, think about it. And it's like, I guess it's just a different era, a different generation. Of course, he's gonna get in trouble for that or whatever. But when people were just jumping out the window, clutching the pros, like, oh my God, I just can't believe he just did that. I was like, did y'all ever see how Bobby Knight got down back in the day? I mean,
so do you think it was the time that we're living in, or do you think it had anything to do with a racial element?
Nah, I mean, I don't. You know what? I don't know. I don't know if something was said.
No,
to
I'm
him
just asking straight up, out of curiosity. You feel me?
I mean, growing up in the 80s and seeing, you didn't have to clutch that competitive spirit in you. Nowadays you do, and when you got pissed, man, you just, you.
Did you see the Detroit Pistons and how they?
Thank you. So
man, did you see Kurt Rambis was getting clothesline?
Yeah.
As good as
do y'all know who Anthony Mason is?
Exactly.
Charles Oakley.
Exactly.
I remember Oakley. I went to school at Virginia Union with him, but I remember.
You went to school with Charles Oakley?
Yeah, back in the 80s, man. Charles Oakley, boy, yeah, he was fighting in too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But wasn't the brawl after the game? The game was already over, right?
I remember Virginia.
Oh, hold on. Was you there for the malice in the that one with Ron Artest and Jermaine O'Neal? Was you out there for that one?
I remember that one.
That was nuts. It was Detroit and Indiana. Ben Wallace's brother was fighting. Ron Artest ran in the stands and the fan threw soda on.
Now you're talking about also back in days in Indiana where you had Reggie Miller, man. He used to get in some stuff too.
One of my favorite players of all time.
Oh yeah.
But I remember, though, the Detroit Pistons, as good as Jordan was, before Chicago won a championship, Dennis Rodman, all them boys, they used to beat up on Jordan.
But they beat his ass. They busted him up.
What was the point guard? Isaiah Zeke was out there going psycho on them boys. And did they have Lambeer? Bill Lambeer or something like that?
Yeah.
John Sally?
I mean, they were some. Detroit was they beat up on
Oh,
the
Joe Dumars. That's what I was
yeah,
looking for. Don't sleep on Joe.
but they used to beat up on the who did they beat up on the Lakers? They beat them too.
Mhm.
Showtime. Hey, yeah, they did beat the Lakers.
But,
I was pissed. I'm a Lakers fan,
but
but
going back then,
the Lakers got a couple though.
here in Indiana, it was always Larry Bird and Magic Johnson because they played against each other in 1979. That's in the championship when because they have a school out here called the Indiana State University Sycamores. That's where Larry Bird went. And he and Magic played each other, and that was the last time Indiana State ever went to something. And they said they would meet each other in the NBA, and they did, Boston and LA. And it wasn't anything compared to what, I mean, look at LeBron. How many times did LeBron lose to Golden State?
Right.
How many times has LeBron actually lost it? I think he's won 4, and he won a couple with Miami.
He's
won
won
4 up and 4 down, I believe.
yeah, he's won 4. But however, we got to put some context in it. Let's not act like those Warrior teams were slouches. Have you guys seen what Steph Curry is doing on the court? Anywhere he steps, that's his range. Like as soon as he crosses half court, he bombing from anywhere. Klay Thompson the same way. Plus they had Durant. Are we just gonna act like Durant is not a top scorer of all time?
I do remember though the Golden State Warriors though. Didn't Toronto put something on them too? And I mean, I remember it was somebody.
They did, but Durant, context, it matters. Durant was out, and Klay Thompson was out. Durant was out with an injury, so I mean, we can play the hypothetical game. But the Golden State was leading. Then their 2 best players got injured. Or their 2 second best players got injured, and Toronto won. There's nothing to take from them. You know, your best ability is your availability. But this is where context matters. So I do believe LeBron probably could have got another one, but let's not act like he wasn't. Do you guys remember that Spurs team? Timmy Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. One of them had Robert Big Clutch Ori. Like, come on, what is we talking about?
Hey,
Timmy Duncan could play in any. He would have been cooking Arvydas Sabonis, Rick Smits. He would have been cooking all of them people in the 80s and stuff that Larry Bird played with. Same thing with LeBron. Who in the 80s would have been able to guard LeBron?
No. Look, listen, do you think? Okay, Do you think that LeBron would have survived the Detroit Pistons defense?
No.
He's too soft. Soft.
It's just like football. And me and my friend Hostry were talking about this. Do you think that Brady would have survived it back there in the 60s, 70s, and 80s when they were tearing your head off?
Nah.
Okay, but once so one more again. Context matters. Back then, we just described a bunch of stuff that wasn't even basketball plays. Dudes was out there getting clothes.
Hold on. What'd you say?
They was sticking knees out, and they was calling it defense. That's not defense, bro. Anyone that plays basketball,
it was legal. It was permitted. It was basketball.
But be easy. That's what 90s fans that they romanticize niggas just throwing each other out the air.
He said it wasn't even basketball.
That's not, bro. That's not basketball. Choking people, sticking your leg out.
You got bums. You had bums like Charles Oakley who really
hold on. That's
you know
like that's like saying what Ronnie Lott did in the 80s was not football.
Ronnie Lott.
That's like saying what Ronnie Lott did was not football. Okay, because the show is illegal today. You can't do none of that shit now.
No,
you can't do none of that shit now.
They couldn't stop anybody. That's why they had to do all that.
Exactly. They were
No. You missed the point. No. You missed the point.
Just some old electricians and plumbers playing basketball who couldn't really do
just the threat alone and the possibility of having that done to you shut you down.
Okay, cool. So hold on.
You made a career decision. You said, "Now, do I want to go across that middle? Do I
Hey,
really want to go across that middle?
since you want to play that route,
No,
LeBron,
man.
let's go
It's all
LeBron
good.
James, right? Who's played point guard a lot of times in his career, who's over 6'9", and let's just take someone who's phenomenal like Isaiah Thomas. Are we gonna act like Isaiah Thomas would have been able to check LeBron?
Bro,
Like, what are
facts.
we
Thank you,
talking about?
Beezy. Yeah,
With
what are we
Gary
talking about?
Payton, the glove would have locked down LeBron. Mark Jackson from the Pacers would have marked even Magic Johnson, who's not known
Yeah.
for defense. Are we really acting like he wouldn't have been
Got
getting
all the-
cooked out there?
got
Okay,
all the
yeah.
medals.
Listen.
My boy
Mm.
Chaotic Truth, what's going on, brother? Glad you came up. You just been Teapot dropped off. What's going on, Cindy Floss? But what's going on? I heard some of your good stuff and I had to invite you up here, brother, because you were speaking the truth on Teapot. Teapot was just up here, bro.
Well, first of all, 411 Talk Zone Radio, I say
I
salute to you.
subscribe to your channel too, by
Thank
the way.
Thank you, sir. I want to say this. As much as I critique and analyze black people, I have to critique and analyze my late black ass. My schedule got a little bit mixed.
Stereotypical.
I was on CP time, and I apologize for.
All right, you welcome up here anytime, bro.
Yeah. So
No, you was on N-word time.
I would say N-word time, considering the fact it's an hour and 30 minutes late. Now, here goes the thing. I was not listening because I was doing some things. So I want to be broached to topic. What's going on, 411? I'm sorry about this.
Brother, we were talking about immense topics, particularly black topics. We were talking about some sports here. We earlier, when Teapot was on, talked a little bit about how black people, and this is just, and it's been on my mind. We spend $1.6 trillion a year,
Yeah,
but nothing to show for it. And I put a question up in my my poll. It sounds a little ambiguous, but I've had 13 votes. Are black folk investors or consumers? And 62% say yes. 38 said no. Now, it's an ambiguous question, and I made it that way to get some people to really think about this. Okay, are we spending a lot on, of course, frivolous or material items?
yes. Oh, you're asking me?
Yes. So we spend a lot on
Yeah. There was a video that came out in the 1950s. It's in black and white, and it teaches businessmen and women how to sell to the Negro. You should look it up on YouTube. It's very interesting.
right.
And now, mind you, this is in the 1950s, 70 years ago.
Yeah.
The same talking points from that video are the same talking points now. The white man in the video, who was the narrator, he says the key to selling to the Negro is that he boasts about things about pride. So he likes, or she likes, the fact that you could come to their house and they have Chinaware. You could come to their house and they have a nice table. And they were talking about how to sell. He's prideful. He's boastful. The Negro will buy a couch and invite people over to show off a couch.
Show off.
This was in the 50s. Sorry for going off, brother.
No, that's all right. Hey, you're allowed to go.
They were showing this in the 50s. Now, you may ask yourself, why were they doing that? Because the white man is the biggest capitalist on the planet.
Right.
So by him being the biggest capitalist, he has to study the consumer. And just like most black people want to pretend like our past, you know, they reimagine the past. But I think black people have been the same for eons.
Right.
It's something about colorful objects, shiny objects, clothes, and shit like that. So we are the biggest consumers. We like frivolous items. When I went to school, I went to public and private. When I went to public school all day, every day, the niggas would talk about clothes. I'd be like, hey, man, can we just focus on science. Nah, chaotic truth. You're a lame. Fuck biology.
Now, where'd you go to school at?
I went to school. See, you know what? I've been told to stop giving my location. Put it this way.
No. You don't have to.
I went to school in the Midwest.
Okay, it looked like I go out here to Purdue University, but I went to Temple University.
Oh, you mean college?
Yeah.
Oh, I went to Kent State University.
Kent State in Ohio.
Kent State in Ohio. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I know exactly. Folks, I'm gonna have to. I got my boy Chaotic Truth. I got to bring TPOT back up. I can only have 6 people up.
Yeah.
Hey, Mel, I'm gonna drop you down. Stay in the chat, and I'll bring you right back up. But I'll bring you right back up. Let me get TPOT back up.
And I want to be able to. Talk.
Just quick PSA. Whoever is the next person you need to bring up, I'll go ahead and follow in the chat 411.
Oh, okay.
So 411. Even if you think about ancient Africa, what's up, the Prophet of Thought? Oh, that's
Brother Chaotic Truth. What's good with it, man? Hey, man, what are you doing tomorrow, man? We're doing a race panel tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern.
I will try to make it an effort to be there, sir.
Okay.
Now, let me finish this diatribe because I got
it.
Now, is there anything wrong with the mindset of Black people in terms of purchasing items? I don't think so. I think that to have an economy, you need a consumer.
Right.
But when does it become a problem when a people are just the consumer? Just the consumer. And that is the problem that permeates amongst the African paradigm. You see Nigerians, you see Ghanaians, they'll come to America. They'll be successful. They'll be an engineer, doctor, but they brag and boast. Look at my Cadillac. Look at my Mercedes. Look at my. I'm on private jet. I have this. I have that. But you're buying products from the white man, from the Asian man, and that's the problem.
Now, people getting a return on investment.
There's no return on investment because those items don't have intrinsic value, meaning true value. A car, a TV.
You don't produce any of those items.
And the difference between, I hate to say this, and the reason why I always say this, God's chosen people, the Jews. Now, you guys may get mad at me for saying that, but I certainly believe it. God's chosen people. I've been around Jews. They save. They could be rich as hell. You won't even know it. They could be worth millions.
Right.
And they will wear dirty clothes. They will drive a beater. And they will live in a modest house. But they'll have $1 million or $2 million in the bank. Their kids will go to private schools. Their kids are... Black people, all we do is purchase. Now, the Black American... Now, people get mad at me because they say I'm not a true Black American, which I consider myself a true Black American. The Black American is the wealthiest African on the planet. The wealthiest. You're more wealthy than the Brazilian Blacks, than the Caribbean Blacks, than the South American Blacks.
Yeah, we're not African. We're American.
Sir, that's okay. I got you. I don't know, sir. I got where you're coming from. Just hear me out. I just got on the panel, Citizen Lou. Give me a chance. I
agree with you, bro. I'm just.
Sir, I agree that there are blacks here in the country, sir. I agree with that, but just hear me out. Okay, so
we got Brother Lou up here too. What's good, Brother Lou?
Yeah, we got.
I know that was you up there, man.
What's up, y'all? Go. I ain't been control chaotic. I just wanted to throw that in.
It's fine. It's fine. Because I've been waiting to come on here. And I'm almost done, guys.
No, go ahead, bro. Because you've done a good job. And I was upset that Kwame dropped you off his panel.
Because I don't want to talk about Kwame. Because you know what? And I don't want to talk about Kwame for another reason, too. Okay. I didn't realize how big that Negro was. When I looked at his draft day photo when he was shaking hands with David Stern, I said, this dude is a giant. This dude a ragdoll me. I do martial arts and that nigga still ragdoll me. That nigga, a big nigga. Huh?
That's a 7 foot. He's a 7
footer. His
like
strength
6'11", man.
Yeah, his strength. He has different type of strength.
All you gotta do is close the gap, man. You be all right.
Yeah.
Hey man, if Bruce Lee
Go
was
for the
able to beat
knees.
Kareem
Go for the knees.
Abdul-Jabbar, you could take him.
Now, Bruce Lee. I hate to say this,
Catch
Bruce
him in that
Lee.
headlock.
I don't think Bruce Lee could beat somebody that big, or even But but let me finish this real quick. So 411, the black man is the biggest consumer, and we have to evolve past that mindset. That mindset that it's like a childish mindset. My clothes, my car, my this, my that. Always, the only thing that we should value are things that have intrinsic value, like financial assets, like obviously stocks, real estate, etc. But we focus too much on electronic devices, shoes, and we give so much money to other groups of people. But the African American is the most unique African on the planet, in the sense that the African American could literally become like the Jews if, instead of buying flashy items, just investing money. And this is something that we all know. Go ahead, Mel. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, brother Mel.
I definitely agree with Chaotic, man. It's like, one part, there's different factors to play onto that, but the main thing is starts over in the home, man. The parents is not teaching their kids about this stuff. The parents don't want to get into this stuff because most of them still act like they kids themselves.
Yeah.
And stuff. Even in this day and age, like, if you buy your kid an electronic device, learn how to teach him how to monetize it. They don't teach them that. The simplest thing. They got classes now that you can start your kid off at 8 years old, financial classes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but how many parents are going to get their kids into that? That's the sad thing about it. Like, these parents is not teaching their kids financial literacy the way it is, because they're not teaching in the schools as much as they're supposed to. So that's starting at home. These parents have to get into it, but they don't. Maybe these parents act like themselves, and that's what messes up the generational wealth. And then we got that one kid that breaks out of it and stuff like that. They want to live off that kid too much. And now that kid has to come to the decision, should I try to feed all my family or cut them all off? They put in the Bible, like, it's the biggest, trap they got put into. It's like, and just like you said, also, we don't invest enough in each other. It's like, we can have our own fashion line and have a fashion line with black-owned fashion line that's up on the same level as Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and all that stuff, but we always want a damn discount.
Mel,
Human capital. Not only that, is white worship too. Always the inferiority complex, where as much as you railing against a white man, you think that his water is colder. So if Mel come up with a water company, you ain't gonna have any faith in it because it's Mel, man, he just getting it off the ground. So it's like, do you hate white supremacy or not? Because there are a lot of black people, while I do think it's pervasive, a lot of them are just the biggest promoters and perpetuators of it, so you railing against the white supremacy while you're promoting it at the same time.
Man,
and then
say that shit
in terms
again,
of the
brother. Say that shit again.
yeah, bro, especially with the flashiness too, because you already are conceding to the point that you're inferior, right? Because that Gucci shit, it doesn't impress the white person. So who are you really trying to impress? Your neighbor who's in the same position as you. So I'm better than Chaotic because my belt costs 400, but my kid is struggling to read. And then this is another thing I'll say. They'll say, oh, that's my baby, he's 8 years old, he's too young to learn about stocks. Why is this little nigga out there running plays and doing all of this shit when the chances of him going to the league is not in your favor? However, if you taught him about financial literacy at I didn't know because my daddy wasn't there. Well, your daddy didn't play in the NFL either, but you got him out there running routes and hoping he gonna be Bo Jackson or the next LeBron, and he's only gonna end out being 5'8".
Look at where we promoting now kids to. Always got to be entertainers, celebrities, or athletes, instead of promoting them other STEM. One of the biggest, that's fields that you can easily become a millionaire behind that. You don't promote that much like kids in those fields because it's so lame.
You know what's funny about that, man? My dad, my dad's a math. mathematician and everything. When I was playing sports, he told me some real shit. He said, "You're not making the league. You might as well get your ass in these books." And I was like, at the time, I was mad as hell. I was like, man, how the hell my dad gonna tell me that? I was about to cry and all this shit.
My dad is a medical professional, and he told me the same thing. And I was like 12 years old, and I started crying.
I was like, sport.
I was outside playing basketball, like.
Oh, basketball? Okay.
Yeah, I was playing basketball.
I was playing basketball. He said, "You're not gonna be 6'5." I was like, "Dad, yes, I can." He said, "No, because people in his family are not that tall." And I wasn't that good at basketball as a kid. I was good at track and field, but I wasn't good at basketball. Then he broke down the numbers to me mathematically. And then, as men, our brains tend to be logical, or boys. Right. And I said, damn, that makes sense then. Yeah, I never thought about that. He said, yeah, I mean, it's only 300-something players in the NBA. There's only about 50 of them that are really, really good.
The average height is 6'8".
Yeah, 6'8". Well, now it's 6'8". Yeah, correct. Yeah. And it's out the question now. Yeah. But Citizen, your dad did you a favor by telling you that.
He did. He did. I talked to him.
I would say 2 of those 50 players is going to be top niche to Michael Jordan's billionaire level and stuff like that. So it's like,
they say everybody in the league was meant to be in the league.
Well, yeah, you got to be groomed for that too. Like a lot of these guys were like groomed since they were like 4 or 5 already. Determined that they were going to do this.
Well, I know one thing that was said, and this is what really, when Brother Chaotic was on TPOT show, we were talking about degrees, and Brother Chaotic, look, I got me a couple degrees in STEM, but you were mentioning something about some of these brothers out there that get degrees in African American studies, and they
use degrees.
I call them Facebook.
Well, let me check this brother out.
Them Facebook arguing degrees, 411. That's what I call them. All they do, they just use to research bullshit and argue on Facebook all day.
Participation.
I want to mention, K.O. mentioned one thing about us being the Jews. One thing, a factor is definitely hindering our wealth is investing in our neighborhoods. Now, I'm not talking about the blacks who move out and move to the best neighborhood and then they try to underpay them. That is wrong for them. I don't agree with that. But the ones that stay in their own neighborhoods and stuff, there's a reason why they underpay our neighborhoods the way they do. And then when they gentrify us, they up the prices. That should be us doing that in our own neighborhoods. Those are all
we're not doing that though.
Black neighborhoods in there. We should be investing more, taking care of our neighborhoods so we can build our own volume in our neighborhoods. But we don't. And that's the sad thing about it though. That's why they underpay us the way it is. In our neighborhoods, our own neighborhoods is not paid the way we're supposed to when we live in those neighborhoods. But when a lot of churches,
there's really no neighborhoods. It's really population, because most of those neighborhoods are full of middle-aged women, older women, young kids. It's not too many productive males over there, because the ones who's able and who would have the propensity to build something like that have already fled to another community, and they're not coming back to the community. So who basically is left to build? Pookie and Ray Ray and a bunch of chicks who don't want to give up their power. So that leaves you in a dilemma where is hope lost, because once people leave the community and go to these other communities, they're not coming back in mass to build anything.
Plus when you're talking about a neighborhood, right? I'm an old fella. Me and you, we like the same age, Brother Leon. All right, I'm in my 50s.
I'm in my 50s as well.
When I was younger, there was a neighborhood. There were people around who you could go to. There were adults who would put your ass in check if you was doing something you wasn't supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
They were your neighbors. Therefore,
didn't you have a dad in your neighborhood? Because I had a dad, too.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I grew up with my father. My father didn't die until I was 37. Huh?
What happens if you came in after those street lights? I remember 3 o'clock in the morning.
Everybody looked out for other people. There were dads in the neighborhood, and you had neighbors. That's what made it a neighborhood. Now we don't. Now we don't have neighbors. It's just the hood. We don't have no neighbors.
That started dying down like in the mid to the late 90s.
Yeah,
start turning from neighborhood to hood.
yeah,
to
it's
build
a
up
hood
Go ahead.
now.
Go ahead,
But look,
Chaotic.
brother
break it down.
Leon, I gotta get up off of here because I got a show in like
Okay,
20,
okay.
20 minutes.
Hey,
I appreciate you having me on,
everybody
man.
in my chat, Are You With Wrenches, spam Chaotic Truth's channel, Citizen Lou's channel, and Teapot's channel.
Brother Chaotic Truth, man, you gotta hit me up, man. Tomorrow I'm doing a show. It's called Let's Play the Race Game.
Let's do
And it's gonna be good, man. You need to come through, man. I already got a few contestants. Make sure you come through, man. I'll
Might
see
have
you
to
the
come
link,
through
man.
that
You
one,
can
brother
come.
Teapot.
Yes, definitely do. And another shameless plug, because tonight I will be having Toya the Tutor on. And
Yeah, I think I know her. Yeah.
those of you
my
who
girl
do
Toya.
not know,
I think I know
those
her.
of you who do not know, her mom was on the Rolanda Watts show.
Oh no,
a
back
while
in the
back.
90s.
Yes,
we
and
discussed
she
that
was-
too, man. I remember.
And she was there.
I
And
remember
I'm
Rolanda
gonna have
Watts.
her and her mom on tonight, and we're gonna be talking about this shit in about 20 minutes.
Oh,
Mama's
So,
lovely, yo. You know what I'm saying? I like Toya's
yo,
mother. She
come through. It goes down on the TPOT YouTube page.
I gotta catch
You
bro.
Negroes know.
Put the link in the
Peace.
chat, yo. I want to come by too, man.
Put the
I
link
got
in the
it.
chat. And you
Peace,
a mod
brothers.
up here too, by the way. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, so I want to address something that Be Easy said.
Okay.
Now, I grew up. I don't know if you guys know who Chef Shapino is. You guys don't know who that is.
No.
Well, he's a YouTuber. He's a good guy, and he pointed out something to me. He said, "Chaotic, maybe you grew up privileged, and maybe you don't really have an understanding from the perspective of most Black Americans or even Africans." And man, I maybe to a degree I have to agree with him. But something that Be Easy said relates to what Chef Shapino said. Be Easy mentioned something about competing, how Blacks compete with each other. Let me tell you guys something now. I don't drink and drive anymore. So either I'll Uber or I'll take the train to my downtown area where I live at to go to the bars and clubs. And I'll take the train back and, so anyway, it was before COVID. I do remember it was before COVID. I took the train downtown to a bar, to a club to meet up with some friends. And then, of course, I got wasted. And I remember grabbing something to eat just in case I don't pass out on the train and they think I'm homeless or whatever, just stay up. But I remember being on the train and there was this dude that got on the train. He was a Black dude. He had to be like 40. He got on with a bike. So when I go out in public, I typically dress with slacks and sorry for talking so slow, but I'm going to get to the point.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Go out with slacks, nice dress shoes, button up, and it was warm this night. So this Black dude gets on the train. I'm in a back cart, and he gets on the train with his bike, and he's dressed very, very street. And he said, "Yo, man, your shoes cool, man, but you need to get you need to get you some of these, nigga." And he had on some Jordans.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, "Oh, bro, now mind you, I'm drunk, but I do remember talking to him." Mm-hmm. I'm like, "Hey, man, I only wear Jordans when I play basketball. I don't really wear Jordans because I wanted to say I'm a man, but something in my brain told me not to say that. Right. I don't really wear Jordans. I just wear Jordans. I wear tennis shoes when I'm playing basketball." The nigga said, What type of nigga wear shoes to play basketball, nigga? I wish a nigga would just rock some shoes to play basketball and step on my shoes, nigga. I'll be ready to fight a nigga. Now, mind you, I'm drunk, I'm wasted. So I'm thinking, damn, is he talking shit to me? Is he upset about something? My brain, I'm drunk, so I can't really comprehend with information. So the nigga was just talking like, "Man, yeah, nigga, I don't be rocking no shoes to be playing basketball in, but what I theorized is that he was really upset at the fact that I didn't acknowledge his Jordans. Because you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've been around that, throughout the course of my life. I've never really got. So here goes the thing. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook, etc. I've had people say to me, "Why don't you ever show your house or your cars or?" I'll give you another story. 401 years ago, I got out of college at Kent State, and there was this girl that I went to college with, and her parents were both college professors. She came to my office. I was a probation officer. This was my first job out of college, like a little probation officer job. It was a $45,000 a year job. No fucking money at all, but it was a nice job for a 23-year-old. She said, "Oh, you should take a picture of your name tag and post it on Facebook." And I'm like, "What? For fucking what? It's a job. Millions of people have jobs. Millions of people have the same types of jobs. There's nothing impressive about me. There's nothing impressive about this job. I'm not putting this shit on Instagram because I don't give a fuck about people knowing it." And what I see on Facebook is this niggas are competing with each other. They're not competing with the white man. They're competing with each other. My thing is, 401, if I became an astronaut, yeah, I might say, "Hey, well, guys, I'm an astronaut. Hey, guys, I'm about to go to the moon." But not some, regular ass job, regular car, regular ass house. Like, what the fuck? And Be Easy is right. We are too caught up in competing with each other. So we make all this money and we buy clothes.
Right.
Just so that we can show it off to some nigga who don't care about you. For what? I think that's why maybe I grew up where I just had these things, or maybe I grew up and maybe just I'm a minimalist and I just don't give a fuck. We cuss over here, right? But Be Easy is right. We're always competing with each other.
Hey, but and even to expound on your point, like you said, let's just say you did grow up with a silver spoon, Chaotic. So you may be used to this stuff, so it's commonplace to you. But these others didn't, right? So they say, "I got it out the mud." So you should be used to having less. But instead, you want to overindulge to try to make up for your horrible childhood. I had a childhood that was rocky. But do I need to go out and get all of these coping mechanisms? That's a $400 belt. All they are coping mechanisms, which is over hyper spending and status symbols that only hold status in
blacks.
And there you go. It's a cultural status symbol amongst the community. Now, when you take it to the white patriarchy, the dominant society, they're like, "Bro, it's nothing. It's frivolous fluff." But and that's why the dude was offended towards you, because you wasn't respecting his cultural hierarchy. Nigga, I'm wearing Jordans. You feel?
But I was wearing. But the funny thing is, I was wearing like $300 dress shoes, and I'm like. Yeah, and that's what made it even more funny, because he's thinking I'm coming from Bible study or something, and I'm like, nigga, I probably have on, which I'm not trying to brag, maybe like $1,000 worth of clothes that night. It was slacks, I got the nice button up, and and I'm like, is this nigga upset with me because I'm not acknowledging his fucking shoes? Nigga, 40 years old. I can see if he was 16, like, "Yo, nigga, I got my shoes." I'm like, all right, man, cool.
But you know what? You said you could see if he was 15. He is 15. It's called Peter Pan syndrome. He never grown up. Mentally, he still is 15.
And not only that, also too, this is something that Kevin Samuels always try to teach us and everything. As you get older, you got to change your style. And that's a dude that never changes style. He stays stuck in his own
Hold on.
way.
The other ROI, not only return on investment, reclaim our image.
Exactly. And the fact is, like, that's a man that's stuck in a particular style because he's been around a particular neighborhood so long. He thinks he's the G like that.
And
Still
he thought
he's stuck like dressed like a teenager and at 40 years old, teenager and stuff like that around his neighborhood. And that's something he's used around this particular crowd. But when he gets home, most likely it doesn't show around his house.
No,
his way of living is not showing. His income don't really match like that.
No, I told you he was on a bike. It was like 11. It was like It could
A
no,
bike?
it was like 12 o'clock at night because I remember being wasted. I remember going to eat. It had to be like 12 at night, and I was catching the train back. And so I'm like, why is he so adamant about some fucking shoes?
No, hold on, chaotic. You finna love this one since you said you was drunk.
I'm waiting.
Niggas compete on drinks. Nigga, you ain't finished that drink yet? Like, god damn, I'm not an alcoholic. You want me to, and it's like, damn, you babysitting. You want me to chug this shit down just because you're a drunk, and then I'm composed. I drink, I get to tipsy, I feel good. I'm
Yeah.
good. Y'all drink to the point where y'all hung over and throwing up and puking your guts. If I don't do that, then I'm not the quote unquote real nigga. Like, I'm realer than you. You gonna get drunk and stumble, and I'll slap you, and you fall. So like, what are we talking about here, bro? But
Yeah.
people compete on drinks.
Yeah.
They say chaotic. You're a lightweight. You can't even hold your liquor.
I just believe when it comes to blacks, and they can call me, I've been called that before. I'm 57 years old. I don't care. It's a lot of jealousy, crabs in a barrel mindset, and especially I'm going to say this, and it's going to hurt with the women. I mean, no more brag about the degrees, but they didn't go to school. I guarantee many of them didn't go get what I got. I've known some that said, well, I got a degree in this. And did you get it in STEM? I got mine in STEM. And I don't brag about it. I'm no smarter than anybody else, but I was pretty good in math. Like my dad told me, I'd never be a football player. I tried doing track and field and swimming and diving, but I understand what Chaotic was saying about the Jordans. He was impressed. I'm not impressed by materials either. I'm impressed by going out there making some money. And what we need to do, if we want to gain power, we need to own something. But you got all these LeBron Jameses out here who are preaching oppression, but they own nothing. But they're running their mouths all the time. Go ahead, bro.
You know what impresses me? Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? When I met Neil deGrasse Tyson years ago. He came to do a lecture at Kent State. I had already graduated, but me and my buddy of mine, we drove down to Kent to watch his lecture. You talk about a man who's, in my opinion, his brain, he has a different type of brain. His brain functions different. That's what I was impressed by. And I feel like maybe I'm just a different person. Maybe you guys are different as well. I just have never been impressed by Jordans or clothes like that. Don't get me wrong. I like looking nice. I like, trust me, if I was I ain't gonna lie to you guys. If I was a millionaire, I'm not a millionaire, but if I was a millionaire, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would wear $2,000, $3,000 suits. I'm not gonna lie. But I think there's a certain level of, I feel like, it's
You
a
don't let the
business
materials define you, right?
Yeah, but I don't get off on just bragging about these things, And so I feel like that dude that got on the train, he was, like you guys say, he was stuck in a second childhood. Yeah. And he was upset that I didn't acknowledge that. Hey, 401, do you know who Mansa Musa is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I wrote so believe it or not, people think I'm Uncle Tom too, but I tell people all the time, I'm super pro-black. One of my minors in college was African studies, believe it or not.
But that was a minor.
A minor. My parents were pissed at me for doing this minor, and they're African. I wrote a paper about Mansa Musa, and I said Mansa Musa was responsible for the destruction of West Africa. 411, they had to call campus security to escort me out of class because my own friends who were in my class wanted to fight. Now I studied under. You said you said you went to. So do you know who Malefi Asante is?
I've heard of him. Yes, sir.
Malefi Asante is one of the premier African scholars in the country. So I'm from that tree, right? So I studied under. So I told you I went to Kent State. So I was under the Pan African Studies Department at Kent State, under Dr. Crosby and Dr. Dorsey. Dr. Dorsey he studied under Dr. Malefi Asante. So I'm from that African studies tree, but I just think different, So I wrote a paper about Mansa Musa. I said Mansa Musa is responsible for the destruction of Africa. Instead of enriching the people in Mali, which he may have done, this Negro He takes all of his wealth and he goes to Egypt with these Arabs and he's flaunting, like, yeah, look at me, I'm Mansa Musa. Look at all my gold. Yada, yada, yada. You know what the Arabs did? They went into northern Africa because of that and conquered all of northern Africa because remember, Africa has gold now. They didn't know Africa had gold.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know the story, but that's the story. Mansa Musa was responsible for the Arabs coming into Africa. Now that is a story, and I wrote about that, and I got chased out of class and whatever. But things happen.
Now, when you were in college, bro, I mean, I know I got myself at University of Maryland, almost went nose to nose with a professor because I didn't really like some of the PhDs. They thought they were smarter than I was, but at the end of the day, they
You probably were running circles around them.
Well, you said something that was, and I looked when I was tuning into you and TPOT, and you were saying something about how some of these sisters brag about their degrees and they weren't smart in math. Let me go tune to his stuff because they do. They a lot, especially back in the 90s. Many of them, I'm educated. Well, many of them don't have the common sense and they got a lot of DEBT.
Yeah.
And they talk about how strong they are, but at the end of the day, it's not your education, it's how you apply it.
Yeah.
Because I always say this. Most educated does not equal most intelligent.
No, it doesn't. I remember that was me and TPOT have talked about that too, and they're the ones who are the biggest consumers. The ABW. I mean,
yeah,
there's a fine line between education and indoctrination as well.
Exactly.
And many of them have been.
An institution isn't the only place to get educated.
Well, see, institutions today, particularly with women, are really indoctrinating them with feminist thought. That's the problem. Yep. And that feminist thought is really killing the Western society. And
yeah. So, like I said, are you being educated or indoctrinated? Brainwashed, programmed. So people just look, I went to this. And let's be honest, even when it comes to the collegiate, and this is across not just blacks, but the college is just a bragging rights. If it came down to two black people, both astutely articulate like chaotic, and one went to Kent State and one went to Harvard, are we gonna act like cats wouldn't be flossing and bragging that they went to Harvard? Are we also gonna act like the hiring manager wouldn't say, we like Kent State, but Harvard is Ivy League, so it's like you can't escape the comp,
It's funny, Bees, when I lived in Pennsylvania, they would criticize my school because I worked with some guys at PennDOT. They said, you went to where? I said, I went to Temple University.
You went to Temple?
I went to Temple and graduated from Temple.
Is Temple in Philly?
Now. Oh, I was there when John Chaney was there, but they thought that was a hood school. But Temple had just as many students as Penn State. Now, the football team sucked. Won one game out of, a few times.
Yeah, the football team was pretty bad.
They didn't understand Temple University. I mean, had her own hospital, law school. Mark Levin, if you're familiar with Mark Levin, he went to Temple University. Hall and Oates went to Temple University. There's a lot of prestigious people who went to Bill Cosby.
I can't go for that, King. Yeah.
There you go. So, when it comes, I'm not, believe it or not, I'm not impressed by the Harvard mouths out here because they're running the country. They don't even know how to run the country. You look at Elena Kagan, she's on a Supreme Court, never touched a courtroom in her life. She was a professor and she's on a Supreme Court, went to Harvard. So, shout out
to who are you referring to?
The Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, Elena Kagan. She was a professor. You got to be careful with these professors out here. I don't have a PhD. I don't have.
Chaotic, you got a PhD?
No. Here's my thing. Unless you have a PhD in, man, damn, what would be a good PhD for 411? Since we're Unless you have like a PhD in like maybe, damn, I can't really think. Maybe something like in the STEMs, maybe.
Psychology, they're trying to
Yeah,
mix that into.
you would just be a professor. You won't
But
be.
even if you got it in STEM though, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
I'm
trying
gonna
to think
say,
like what would you I mean, it's a good degree if you want to go to be a professor, but in practical,
yeah,
it's I don't see it.
And you know what? They're actually trying to make psychology as part of STEM. Remember when you were talking
I
about the
hope not.
useless degrees? Yeah, they seriously just you can do a simple Google search. They've even tried to implement nursing somehow has infiltrated the
that nursing
STEM.
is like medical though. Yeah.
I'm not even joking, bro.
Well, I believe you. They got to take some hard courses. Psychology, you got to take some statistics. That's it. You have to have a if you want to be a psychologist, you got to go get some type of doctorate and get a license. Or if you want to be a lawyer, you got to get a license. That's basically what all that stuff is, man.
Mhm.
But like I said, I don't go around bragging about I got a degree. I just apply it. Just look.
Well, I think that the whole PhD thing is so a lot of people don't understand this. So a PhD will probably secure you in a professorship position or so for example, Neil deGrasse Tyson has a PhD in astrophysics, right?
Right.
And he's the director of the Hayden Planetarium in New York. But if he wasn't famous, if he did not get star status, he would be a professor at some college making about 95,000 a year. So the whole idea of the PhD is not as prestigious as a lot of people think it is. The only doctorate degree that is worth anything outside of the medical field is a Juris Doctorate, which is a law degree.
JD.
But other than that, I can't think of why somebody would want to get a PhD unless they want to be a full-time professor. I don't see it. Like even in mathematics, it's like it's
Well,
I mean, because for these companies, these Fortune 500s, like let's say a bank, JP Morgan Chase, they don't give a shit about a mathematics. Well, they do. If you have a mathematics degree, it's pretty good. But if you have an MBA from an Ivy League, you're good.
yeah.
But if you have a mathematics degree, bachelor's, you're making about 75 as an analyst or something like that. But yeah.
And that's relative to location because it's really like 65 to 80 like would be pushing it.
Well, I know here.
Then not only that, man, how much did it cost for them to pay to get that type of degree? For when they get the job, how long
Six figures.
pay that money back and stuff? Like like, and then even go out. I pay so much money to get this degree and everything, and by the time I pay it back off, I really can't even enjoy it the way I was supposed to because I'm in the later years of my life. Like,
And that's where a lot of blacks too, even when competing, the average student loan debt just entirely of all races is around like 36, 37 some odd thousand. A lot of blacks are competing with each other, going to get a useless degree, don't even know what they going to school for, and then you end up getting saddled in debt. And on the last estimates I seen, I think it was close to 40% of people that get a degree and they are currently working or pursuing a job in a field that it's not even what their degree is for.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Be easy. I have so many friends. Well, not friends, but I have so many people I know who went to school with
Acquaintances,
me.
right?
Acquaintances, colleagues who went to school with me, majored in, they could have majored in psychology, sociology, engineering, etc. They're not even working in their field. So yeah, man, it's look,
But they
knowing
still
what I
gotta
know
pay
now,
those loans though.
knowing what I know now, I would tell people if you want to secure certain types of jobs, become a lawyer. Yeah, become a lawyer. Because
do you know how long it takes entirely to like the complete time that it takes? Is it like 8 years,
to
5
become a
years?
lawyer takes 3 years. And the reason why I say a lawyer is that if you have a law degree, you're able to work in almost any field. So most of your politicians, a lot of your Fortune, I think 12 or 15% of Fortune 500 CEOs are they have a law degree background. So if you look at the C-suite level positions that are not CEO, like chief financial officer, any other C-suite position, they're lawyers, because lawyers have a way of thinking that other groups of people don't. And so that's why companies hire lawyers for these other positions. A lot of lawyers, my wife is a lawyer, a lot of lawyers don't practice law. They work for companies and they work in certain positions because who else is better to hire than somebody who thinks in a logical manner, in the manner that we need to, in the manner that we need. And so a law degree is always good. An MBA is good, but an MBA is good if you go to a particular college,
like Harvard.
Harvard, yeah. So if you get an MBA from any of the Ivies, you're gonna come out of school making $200,000 a year. Period.
But you mentioned your wife is a lawyer, right? I was just about to say this about the women and stuff. They go to a certain degree. They say tell them to go to a lawyer. That's a sacrifice they're gonna have to make when it comes to their romantic life and everything. That's a job you got to be in your most masculine and stuff.
So it's funny that you said that. My wife actually is not practicing, and she's not practicing because a lot of people don't know, but it's not like the movies. In the movies, you see, oh, I'm a lawyer and I'm just driving around in my Maserati and I'm going out for cocktails. A lot of people don't know that lawyers work from 8 in the morning until sometimes 9, 10 at night. And so my wife was working like that. And, I told her, when we got together that, pretty much let me just take care of all of you. Let me take care of you. You don't have to do this anymore. Right. And so that's what happened. Yeah. And you are right. Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's like we got all these ladies taking all these different degrees, look good, but then it gets certain other degrees like you got to be in your most masculine. You see how females be working with certain status men. Okay, the trade-off is he's going to be working longer hours. He might miss the separate games with your kids and stuff. You knew this before you met him. Now you got with him, and now you want to change him up. No, if you want that lifestyle, this is part of the sacrifice.
Yeah, you got. Yeah,
he's going to be in his most masculine.
Everybody's sacrificing. Right?
Yeah, he's going to be in his most masculine doing with those masculine jobs. So she got to be in her most feminine to balance him out when he gets home.
But I just think, Will, we need to, particularly as black men, I think we need to own something. I mean, too many of us are in, and I don't listen to celebrities. I mean, these celebrities, they're not everybody's going to pick up a mic and start rapping 12 bars. No, they're not going to do that. Not everybody's going to be a Flo Joe. Not everybody's going to be a Michael Jordan. We got to get that out of our mind. I know some brothers, particularly the younger they are, they think they're going to go in and start balling like Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals, catching 70-yard passes. No, it's not going to happen to many of us. And at the end of the day, when it comes to African Americans, just like I posed in that question, we don't do any real investing. We are consumers. And even individuals who come into the black community with businesses, they don't look like us. They take that money, and even pastors, they take it right out of the black neighborhood to their own neighborhood. Go ahead, bro.
Mm-hmm. I have a theory on this. And before I get to the theory, I'm going to tell you an example, right? So I taught for many years in both the guys. Give me a second. I have to charge my battery up.
I understand that. That happens to me too.
Give me a second. Sorry about that. Because I want to broach that real quick. Give me 1 second, guys.
But like I said, we need to stop with the crabs in a barrel mindset. And
stop really complaining and start contributing, bro. Right. That's all cats need to do, because I do agree with the ownership thing. I mean, this is what I say, there's hurdles, and what I'm saying, I don't need to go down the rabbit hole of what those hurdles are, but you train your mind and body to be able to jump over the hurdle. And then, the forces, the circumstances is going to raise the hurdle, and you get stronger mentally and physically. Plus, if you're actually working with your brothers, united and building something with group economics together. You're not alone. So you got different strategies and tips and ploys to jump over the hurdle. But sometimes I see what I call belly aching and buffoonery, where everybody is complaining about this, where some of them are legitimate gripes, but it's like, what are you going to do about it? It's a story where it's a kid or a grown man crying in the middle of the street. Dude walks by. Hey, what's wrong with him? Oh, he sat on a nail. Why doesn't he get up?
All
He'd
right,
rather
brother
just
Clue.
sit there and complain about it.
Brother Clue, a lot of lawyers stay broke for their first 5 years, and everybody spam Latin patriots.
That's being generous too, you know. Yeah, a lot of lawyers are not these high profile lawyers that you see in the
No.
movies. That person's right. For one, what was the last question that you asked? I'm sorry about that.
What I was asking is, I'm talking about ownership. That's what
Yeah.
I'm really asking about, because you have all these athletes out here. They're complaining. We brought it up earlier in the show about being oppressed, but they don't even live in a black neighborhood. But yet they don't put any. Like, I live here in Indiana. The Jacksons are from here, right? They've never come back to put any money into Gary, Indiana.
And why would they?
Well, if you've been to Gary, I don't know if you've been on this side, because I'm in the Midwest.
I've never been to Indiana. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Gary, Indiana looks just like East St. Louis, Illinois. It looks like some parts of Youngstown, Ohio. I had family in Youngstown, Ohio.
You have family in the Yo?
I had family in Youngstown, Ohio, and there's another town I'm going to tell you about. It's called East Liverpool, Ohio, if you're familiar.
I am, but Youngstown, hey, listen, Mel, Be Easy, and Citizen Lou. Look, some of the strongest, solid people, black and white people I've ever met in my life have come from Youngstown. Those are some solid people there, yeah.
There's another one called Steuben, Ohio, or
Steubenville,
and I had
good football players there. Good football.
I had family that lived in Weirton, West Virginia, and Wheeling, West Virginia, so I know all about those places. But yeah, and Cleveland too. I've been there, so. But
you sliding out, man? All right, bro. I'll catch you later, man.
It's like a feedback loop. Can you? All right,
you got some feedback.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, my bad. You hear me now?
So you were talking about 401. You were talking about oppression, right?
Yes.
Well, in my opinion, and you've heard my sentiment about this.
Oh, I've heard your sentiment.
Let's assume slavery happened at the scale that we are told happened throughout books. People telling your great grandparents telling you, and it's like game of telephone, whatever, history books, etc. Right? Let's assume Jim Crow happened. I think Mel. I think it's a feedback loop with Mel.
You got some feedback. Let me see if I can mute him up.
Mm-hmm.
When they get the money out.
No, you got feedback.
That's what listen, I gave everybody the same information all at the same time.
Hey, you got feedback. Let me see if I can mute him.
You can mute him. You gotta go to those three dots.
Yeah, I got him. I muted him.
So, all right, here goes the thing. Let's assume that slavery happened at the scale in which we're told. Let's assume that Jim Crow happened. Okay. Jim Crow was 60 or 70 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Slavery was 150 years ago.
Yeah.
Let's take it even a step further. Colonialism. We don't even see, a lot of black people don't talk about colonialism, but let's talk about colonialism for the sake of African people, like my parents and other Africans. What does that have to do with now? Nigeria was independent 60 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. 60. Look at what Nigerians are doing now. Nigerians go from country to country. They could be criminals. They could be doctors. They are the best at what they do sometimes. All I'm saying is that if this whole idea of this woe is me thing, this oppression thing, you're not being oppressed. No African on this planet is being oppressed. If you live in the United States, so we're all Black Americans, right? Now people claim that I'm not because I'm not ADOS, quote unquote.
Right.
But here goes the thing. African Americans that are ADOS have the highest standard of living out of all the Africans on the planet and the diaspora. Somebody may say, well, how do you know that, Chaotic? Well, here goes the thing. First of all, let's go by stats, which people don't like. Well, let's go by stats anyway. Statistically, America has the highest GDP of all the countries on the planet. America has the highest standard of living. America is a first world country. So that would mean that everybody here is a first world citizen. Every country in Nigeria is a third world country, even South Africa. Even South Africa. The wealthiest African is the Nigerian in terms of the continental African. Do you know how much the average African, do you know how much money the average Nigerian makes in terms of on the continent? $40 per month. About 40 or 50 per month.
That's change right there.
So, if you think about it, when people say, oh, the African American, they're oppressed. How are you oppressed? You make $4,000 or $5,000 per month in America. You could work at America has the best companies on the planet. They do. Amazon is worth or valued at $2 trillion. Walmart is valued at about $1 trillion. Microsoft is valued at $1 trillion. Yada, yada, yada. So even if you work in the factories of these companies, you don't have to work in the white collar aspect, but even if you work at the factories, let's use Amazon. Amazon pays their warehouse employees $20 an hour. So in 2 hours, you make more money in 2 hours than what the average Nigerian makes in a month. Okay. Now, somebody may say, well, it ain't all about money. Okay. Break your leg, get shot, have something happen to you in Lagos, which is in Nigeria.
Right.
See how fast the EMS will come to you. Let's say, let's even go white people. Let's say something happens to you in Bosnia. See how fast social services comes to help you. You know why they won't come as fast? You know why they're not professional? Because our tax dollars pay for all of our social services, and look at all the money that we have in this country. So here goes the thing about America. You can't starve in America. You cannot starve here, but there's famine. People starve to death in other places on the planet. America is the greatest country on the planet. People are not floating on inner tubes to get to Angola. They're not floating on inner tubes to get to.
That's a good point.
Czechoslovakia. They're coming here. So when African Americans are complaining, I always ask, you're complaining, but why are other Africans coming here? You get what I'm saying? You're not going there. It's harder other places. So you're not being oppressed here. You have free education. Mm-hmm. You get free food in schools. You have free libraries. You have paved roads. You have a great infrastructure. And on top of that, you could be anything that you want to be in this country if you apply yourself. You don't have to go to a liberal arts college and major in psychology. No. You can literally go to a good college and major in one of the STEMs.
Heck, you can even go you can get a regular, what do you call it? A blue collar job out here. Like
there are blue collar people.
You need a college degree to be successful either too.
Listen, hey guys, listen.
Please.
I've said this and I keep saying this. some of the smartest people I've ever met in my life have been black men from the fucking penitentiary.
Yeah, you have some.
Some of the most, I'm talking about, these Negroes are skilled at some sort of trade. Their intellect. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, I met some ignorant niggas, but I've also met some smart niggas from the penitentiary.
Hey, but you meet those same ignorant ones that got a degree too.
You're right about that. But what I'm saying is that, in my opinion, and a lot of people get mad at me for saying this, I don't think that Black Americans are oppressed in this country. Because here goes the thing, and this is what I said the other day too, 411. The shit that Black Americans do when they get pulled over, a lot of times, who get pulled over like that and act like that in Jamaica? Let's see what happens to you.
Shit. They won't even survive.
They wouldn't survive. And these are black
That's
police
any
officers.
country outside the U.S. So they
Got
don't
it,
over
got it.
here as much. Yeah, I like that over there with those right. They don't care about your damn right. Yo, you be smoked in a heartbeat.
But you know what, though? I'll take it to white people. These same little hill valley. Oh, you know who the fuck I am?
Mhm.
Let you act like that if you get pulled over by a police officer in Bosnia. So this is what I'm saying. This country is not oppressive. It's the greatest country on the planet. This country, the roads are made of milk and honey. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm bogging the panel. I'm sorry.
No, you're all right because,
Yeah.
but it is.
I mean, you just set the facts right there. Like, you know what, yo, we may not have control of 10% what happened to us, but we still got control of 90% of the outcomes and stuff. And people don't focus on that, and that's the damn problem and everything. I tell people all the time they want to debate me when they come to things stopped by police. I don't go through police the way other people do the detriments. Do things happen? Yes, I acknowledge that. But what I know is I can control most of the situation when it happens because I'm trying to get from point A to point B.
Exactly.
Handle it. That's why we got the court system and stuff. I'm a mind.
Yeah.
A lot of people ain't thinking like me, and we go who and holler. Sometimes all that and it don't mean nothing. You're prolonging the stuff more than what it is. If you feel like being treated right, you know what? Get them in their pockets. That's how I feel. People
Exactly.
sue. It's biggest thing these days. The police can be sued also too.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So
Can
like,
you highlight the Clue channel real quick? And thank you, Mel.
Definitely, brother. Definitely, man.
The Clue channel said something, and I say this on my panel. This is the greatest country in the Milky Way galaxy. Do you know how many stars are in the Milky Way galaxy?
Oh,
hundreds of billions.
Yeah.
And around those stars are planets like this one. And if he's saying that this is the greatest country in the Milky Way galaxy, man, that's a lot of beings within the universe, not human beings, but beings. Thank you, Clue Channel.
You know what? I met famous Amos, many years ago.
The black dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cookies.
Yeah.
And he made this speech when I heard him, and he once said, "America or born spoiled brats."
Yeah, we are.
That's in my head today. Like, you know what? That makes so much sense. We're born in this country, but we act like spoiled brats.
But
Wally Amos.
Yeah, you want to know what though? I heard there's some, we call them the conscious pro-blacks. Maybe they're on the left wing of the.
Those are the worst black people. I made a live stream about that, but go ahead.
I know I heard it, but these are the ones who had never been to Africa. They want to go to Africa, and they think they're going to get a better deal over there. But a lot of Africans are coming over here, and they don't understand that Africa is and I've been to Africa when I was in the Navy a few times.
Which country, sir?
It's a continent with a lot of countries, and all the blacks over there do not think alike.
No, they don't.
They don't.
But some people here do.
I don't see none of them damn hotels bringing money back in the communities the way I think it is, man. So, or just complaining like, okay, where y'all really fits in the communities as much as you claim you is.
All they do is come over here to floss and segregate from black Americans.
Exactly.
To keep it real, that's what they come and do.
And then
they don't want to be considered black.
Can I tell you guys why, as a person who's a first generation African or first generation American?
Mm-hmm.
You know why Africans look down upon African Americans?
Go ahead, break it down, bro.
And I'm first
I've
generation.
worked with some. I've heard it.
I heard it too.
And this is treason amongst my people for saying this. We're jealous. We're jealous. That's it. We look at, listen, do you know why it appears that Nigerians are smarter than other people? And I'm not talking about this.
Competition.
They want to compete. Nigeria is a shithole. Just like any other country in Africa, it's a shithole. It's a third world country. So when they see African Americans, on paved roads, the infrastructure's intact,
Running water, even
water.
they water. They would
running
love
water.
to have Flint water.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, believe it or not, yes, believe, and you're right. Listen, when they show you Nigeria and they say, "Oh yeah, not all of Africa is fucked up," yeah, they're showing you the nice parts, but most of Africa is fucked up. Most of Nigeria is fucked up. They're not going to show you the shanty towns where people are living on top of each other, shitting in the damn water, and there's no filtration systems and shit like that because the people can't afford to pay for it. They're not going to show you that.
Just been joined by RX Mace.
But most Africans are jealous of African Americans. Yes. They're jealous of the freedoms here. They're jealous of the money here. And then they see African Americans, they're just, they're I no disrespect, lackadaisical,
entitled,
not living up to potential, I guess. Yeah, they study super hard and they become some of them become doctors. And then what they do is look at those African Americans and look at that African American right there. I'm better than him. But what it is, yeah.
Clue said, I dated a woman from Uganda and a woman from Lagos, Nigeria, two totally different beings. And,
the woman from Uganda probably looks super hotter. So, yeah.
And
you would have to say that.
Been joined by a brother named Rick's Mace.
Sorry for taking over the panel for it.
That's okay, bro. That's okay, bro. I invited you up there because you got some good stuff. Go ahead, brother Rick.
Basically, yeah, I was just going to come on and I was going to come in with this guy, okay, Chaotic Truth Live. I'm not black. I don't know anything about any Nigeria or things like that, yeah. I'm mixed race. I'm half Arab and half white, yeah. I was going to come on here and I was going to ask you about this promotion of basically, I was going to come on and basically ask you, like, why are you promoting the darkness a lot of the history of Black history? Like, why is it always promoted the slavery, and why is it always promoted the badness of the society that you live in? Like, can't you like just completely ignore that and fucking just uplift the people that are doing good and then try and like better the society that way instead of living in the past and fucking promoting? Like, there's not one black person that mentions to a white person about slavery. That's what I've noticed. I've noticed that there's not one person that doesn't spout that every time. Now, I'm not saying this from a hateful perspective. I'm saying this from, listen, I'm mixed race. I've grown up in a white area. I've been expelled from free schools because people called me nigger. And I'm fucking half Arab, yeah, because I grew up in a white area and I'm fucking been living with the criminality from that since then. So I've been through some bullshit as well, yeah. But at the end of the day, I don't fucking look back and try and promote what happened to me to anybody, yeah. I try and just better myself that way. But it's a lot what I've noticed about the black community. I've been in communities, that's why I started on YouTube, but there's a lot of promoting negativity, yeah.
Rick Mace. Okay, Rick Mace. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Sorry, and I'm not trying to be funny. Have you been drinking tonight, or have you taken any type of Percocet, or have you done a bump of cocaine tonight?
No.
Okay. I don't think Rick Makes you've heard the entire conversation, let alone do you know who I am? I'm not a person who is in love with the past. I think that black people in America, and I've been called out on it for not being a ADOS, I think that black Americans should move past that. I've made videos on my live streams, the Chaotic Truth Live, about that. You should probably come to my channel and see what I'm about. I'm a futurist. I believe in the future of black people, not just African Americans, but blacks in the diaspora.
Man, it's good to hear that because man, I think you'll
You
agree.
must have heard, like,
there's
10
a lot.
minutes.
There is a lot of negativity. I think you'll agree. But I'm glad you said that because I was gonna come on here on some negative tip and that, but
Mm.
I'm
glad I cleared it up because
I apologize for coming in on some dickhead tip, but not everybody's like that. But there's a lot of people promoting the negative side. Do you know what I mean on YouTube and things like, and a lot of people think that when they listen to it as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like but as long as there's people that know what it is. Yeah, do you know what I mean? As long as there's certain groups that know what it is, from what I've seen, I've been on here a few years, and there's a lot of drama and there's a lot of negativity, and they like to spout the most horrible shit out their mouths. Yeah,
but Rick Space, I do got a question for you.
I would say, Mitch Race, you got in this space, people just like the pair bond and stuff. They go extremists. We go through like manosphere, black manosphere, like when one group particular side show solutions. We got the other side that just want to complain so much and pair bond to the detriment that you didn't even hear the fucking solutions. And we're telling you, what? If it hasn't worked for you in the past the way you want it to be, try something new. There's too many people that don't want to try nothing new the way it is. They want to stay stuck in the damn past too damn much. That's why you got people pair bonding in these spaces and complain so damn much. We're based over this side. Yeah, I kind of like what the solutions is and everything, but the fact that it's still solutions, try something new. And people pretty stuck in their past too damn much. And the reason why they can't succeed the way it is, and then they sit back and realize I'm not succeeding where I am. But it's easy to complain so much. I'm not forget about the past. I don't forget about the past, but I'm not gonna let it be my future.
Right, and also here on my channel, and I've seen it on Chaotic Truth and Citizen Lou. We have people of different races up here. I keep mine diverse, and I like it that way because I get all kinds of views. When it's all and Brother Mel, you can defend me on this because we had somebody on here, and he was also talked about on Reg's channel. Remember, you in Free Zone Warp here? What was his name? I can't remember him. It was on my birthday, I believe.
Yeah, I remember that clown. Yeah, he went
that dude up there.
Since Lou said something, he took it for the heart. Remember Lou?
Right.
But yeah, we also got to remember not everybody is coming on here for the same thing. Chaotic alluded to earlier that probably closer to 85 to 90% of people coming on here to be entertained. For most people, education and enlightenment is not entertaining. So if they're coming for negative stuff, it's no different than the TV and all of the other things that they're consuming, which is usually negative, unproductive, nonsensical. So people are going to seek out. Some people coming on here for YouTube and it's a diary. So they're venting all of their past frustrations and unaddressed trauma. Some people are coming to get enlightened. Some people are coming here to troll. Like everyone has their different reasoning for coming on here. Ideally, people should be coming on here to uplift and build, but that's just not reality or anything, practical to expect.
Yeah, you're right, man. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you've snubbed me completely with your sense. Yeah, and the way you the way you hold yourself. So I'm just gonna bow out now. I'll see you later. Have a good day, and you got a good channel, man. You're a bunch of good.
Brother.
You're a bunch of good. You're good people, and that. Yeah,
hey, Rick Smith, can I do something real quick and tell me if I sound like I'm from the UK.
Go on.
I got the razor to your face and I ain't talking about a roller.
Yeah, that sounds proper British, man.
Okay. Now do us a favor, Mixed Race. Can you sound like an American, black or white? Can you sound like American real quick? American English.
I'll try it. Yeah. Fucking. I went to the bar and I was like, no way. And he was like, way.
Wow. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, good.
Man, what did I walk into? What I got back.
All right, yo, see you later, yeah.
figure
All
it
right,
out.
bro.
Hey,
Thanks.
wow, damn.
Hey,
Look,
I gotta get on that too, also too, fellas, man. Thanks for having me up, 411.
peace, Mel. Yeah,
hey, peace, brother
yeah.
Mel.
Good night, y'all.
Yeah, peace. The Queen's English. Oh, that's. I mean, I want like we have to sound like blithering idiots to people in the UK. I have people from the UK who call in. They say, "Dude, America sound dumb."
You're supposed to say bloody idiot.
Bloody idiots, not blithering, because they don't say blithering. They say bloody idiots. You bloody
Hey,
idiots. Yeah.
hey, by the way, we found that dude's channel, by the way, that was just up there. He calls himself Rick Mace Troll. I found it. Tommy Jean found his channel.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go over there and
Hey,
check him
he
out.
sound like a. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, look, that's what caught me to your eye because we keep it diverse over here. Because me, a Be Easy, we don't do ours. Ours isn't totally black and Citizen Lou.
Yeah.
I don't. I want it just like it is. And TPOT comes over here. I've known him for a while. That's why I had to invite you up there when we were listening to your channel.
Yeah.
And TPOT. But you got to tell me what happened on that Kwame. He knocked you off and you were talking.
Well, you gotta remember Kwame, you know, and I'm gonna be honest.
He was pissed off. He's pissed off with Tommy for some reason.
Kwame is pissed off at Tommy Sotomayor.
Oh, we know that.
So whether Tommy says the sky is blue, Kwame will make it a issue. Oh, the sky ain't blue, the sky is purple, whatever, right? So that night was the night of post night of when Tommy was unfortunately physically assaulted. So I got on the panel and I said, as black people, we should stop assaulting each other, etc. So Kwame went in on me and his little giggling, goofy little comedian dude, whom, by the way, is an actual comedian, Black Ron, and his cousin, Mr. Skinny. You know, they went in, well, not Mr. Skinny, but Kwame and Black Ron went on me saying, oh, you have the right to attack someone if they say something to you, etc. And you don't have the right to touch anybody if they say anything to you. And I say that, I'm not a fan of Tommy Sotomayor. I don't have any vested interest in him. But as a people, we have to stop physically assaulting each other because we're upset. That's why.
This is that ape-like chimp, man. I mean, this is just this low IQ shit that Negroes just love to resort to. I said this the other day. I was talking to somebody, and they was just saying dumb shit. Like, you can't reason with niggas. You just can't. Like, I forgot what it was. We were debating about something. Oh, it was the Juwan Howard thing, right? I don't know if y'all familiar with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Juwan.
Yeah, I just had brought it up a little bit.
Oh, you brought
earlier.
it up easy. Oh, my bad. I just came up, but they were.
No. We didn't fully get into it though.
Oh, y'all didn't feel it. Okay. I'll just tell you what the debate was. So I'll just real quick. So the coach of the other team, he called a timeout, and Juwan Howard felt disrespected because I guess he felt like y'all trying to run up the score, whatever, right? So when they were shaking hands, the white coach was like, he was trying to explain to them why we called a timeout. It wasn't no disrespect. We weren't trying to do anything like that. And he was like, "Oh man, fucking don't touch me, nigga! Don't touch me, nigga!" And then
he did kind of grab him a little bit, not to justify, but just for the kind. He did grab him.
It was kind of like that. It was like that reaching out kind of grab, like
don't turn your back on me. We brothers, like
right, exactly. Yeah. Like if I grabbed your shoulder, like brother, I'm trying to talk to you. He was like, "Oh, don't touch me, whole head, nigga!" And then the assistant coach, I don't know what he said. He must have said that's why we bust y'all ass or something.
He smacked him.
So he smacked him. And then the argument was, well, he a real nigga. Shit, I ain't shit. This nigga do. You better not touch me. You better not touch me. And that's just the chimp ape-like mentality most Negroes have.
And Juwan Howard, I met him before. He's a big guy, but why risk millions of dollars or your reputation because you're upset and then hit an assistant coach who's a nobody? Why would you do that?
You guys got his first time. Video. Is that video floating around?
Yeah, this is not.
I showed it
Yeah,
on my
it's
channel.
around.
I did a stream on it.
Yeah, you
Man, I
can
gotta
find it
find that
super
video. I didn't
easily.
see it. I'd rather
Yeah.
talk about that because I know everybody's been into the top, which that woman shouldn't have hit Tommy either. And I understand that she's got some warrants or something too. I mean,
Well, I know she's been making her rounds, getting clout off that. She's been on Tasha K's show.
all that.
So, and maybe chaotic. You could expound on this a little bit more. I've seen the clip. To me, I honestly, I truly didn't care about it. Because it was just more depravity that's not going to do anything to make me better. However, I will speak on people controlling themselves. If you want to step to Tommy or any man like a man, then expect to be treated like a man, right?
Absolutely.
Equal rights, equal lefts, equal getting dipped on your head, because that's what I would be subjected to. So you as a woman who see, if I'm out in the wilderness, we always use animal analogies, right? So why not use it this time? If I'm out with a bear, am I truly going to be stepping to a bear knowing what that bear is capable of? Now, when we come to a man, why are you stepping? Oh, because you have the benefits of what? Government intervention, physical,
Man, Sims.
yeah, it's Sims, yeah, the white knights. But even the cops who you said was all racist. So you got racist white cops, white knights who was supposed to save you, Pookie and Ray Ray, who you said you was divested from. But it's being facetious, but that is quite a bit of outs, right? You got a simp as a white knight. You can call the police. Pookie and Ray Ray gonna come like Jawan Howard, like, I'm gonna protect my bitch and start shooting. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
So
Kwame
it got
Brown.
quite a bit of protection.
Yeah, you're right. Be easy. Kwame Brown.
Hey, look, another humongous white knight.
Because I remember he asked Chaotic, was he a lawyer or something like that? What?
Yeah, he did. And
It was
and
the
the
other
thing
guy
is that
that was on there with you.
and Kwame Brown, who's 7 feet tall, called me a small fry. I don't know how he knew I was smarter than him. Well, I mean, obviously, because most human beings are not 7 feet tall.
Right.
You know, he's calling me a small fry, saying that, oh yeah, you know, I was taught to put hands with somebody if they talk to a woman disrespectfully. But Kwame, you have a woman on here who physically assaulted a man. And my thing is nobody should physically assault anybody, but you're taking up for a prostitute. But it's a logic. It's that mindset.
And
it's
So
scary.
what was his logic for taking up for? Was it the logic that no man should be putting his hand on a woman or yelling
Logic
at a
was
woman?
no man should disrespect a female, calling her a bitch, whatever.
Bro, hold on. Are you joking, right?
No, hey, the 401. You want to play
the
through that clip
ideology
real
of
quick?
Negroes. This
401.
Be easy.
Am I
So be easy. You ever seen when I was on there?
I saw you.
I haven't seen it.
At 411. You want to play it for Be Easy real quick for everybody to watch real quick?
I don't have it. How do I get to it?
Yeah,
okay,
if you
go to
had it,
go to
we could do
Kwame
a
Brown
live
Life.
breakdown.
Okay, here, go to. All right, I'm gonna tell you how to do it. All right.
Okay. Or
All right. So, or you know what? Maybe I can share it. Give me a second.
You can share it because.
Are you able to share your screen, Chaotic? I think
I can. I can. Give me a second. Because because maybe you guys can break this down. Give me a second.
I would definitely love to do that because I haven't seen it. If it's something live and it's a substantive conversation that comes out of it, but I've seen other content creators, they're just using it for the drama and the clicks. Right. With these gentlemen on the panel, we'll actually get a respectable intellectual conversation out of it, because this is something that's just, like you said, it's just way too pervasive in our society, where people is just thinking you can step to a man anyway, say anything without any consequences.
All right, I have it up if you want to share it.
Yeah, I got it right here.
All right, give me one.
Let me blow it up right here.
Can you hear it?
That was legendary.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
What's up, Kwame? What's up, Mr. What's up, Mr. Skinny? How you guys doing, man?
Yes. That was epic right there. Hey, hold on. Haters that talked about my mother, my children. If you play the video, you're gonna get that swagger dash. I'm just letting you know. So don't play my video, haters.
Yeah,
You will get that swagger there. I already told you. Don't play the video or the audio, please.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, can I say something, Kwame? And Mr. Skinny, you know, I spoke to you before, Mr. Skinny. You remember?
Yeah.
In the spirit of Black History Month, you know, can we not promote black on black crime? It's already bad enough that we have this bad reputation in terms of just, I mean, outright violence towards each other. Now, this young lady, Shay, I saw the snippet this morning. She attacked that man. She should be charged with assault. I'm sorry.
As she should.
I'm sorry. She should be charged. Give me a second.
Let me interject, please, Kwame.
Black Ron, I haven't even got a second.
Hold on, let him finish this. Let him finish this. I want to
Give me a second. Give me a second.
I'm gonna tear your ass up.
No, Black Ron. Give me a second. Now, we should be intellects. We should embrace intellectualism. We should embrace the sciences,
So you think that was intellectual what Tammy did?
No, it wasn't intellectual at all. And she assaulted that man.
Hold on. Let me give a little.
Go ahead, Kwame.
You can't be illogical and disrespect because that's not a black thing. A white woman would have did the same thing. It's a respect thing. It has nothing to do with color.
This nigga is such an idiot.
Yourself an intellectual if you're gonna come up there talking like a regular everyday jackass. And he called that woman a bitch. He called that woman out her name. There was no intellectual that I would follow.
That woman believes she's a bitch.
You have to lead with respect. If you think intellect is going to trump respect, then I think that's going to be a character flaw in you and anybody else that think like that.
But does that give her the right to physically assault him or anybody else?
Because there's a such thing as a verbal assault. There's also a such thing as provocation.
What you say, brother?
Let me ask you this question.
Go ahead, Black Ron.
Is a straight person calling a homosexual the F-bomb considered verbal assault?
I would assume it would be.
Absolutely.
No, don't assume. That's a fact.
But does that give the person the right to physically?
Wait. Go ahead. See, because I understand what's going on, Mr. Beautiful Backdrop. You don't get a whole bunch of encyclopedic words.
I'm not using any encyclopedic word, but go ahead.
The common ground. So you assume that because Mr. Skinny and Kwame speak in layman's terms that they are not intellectuals. Sir, you have crossed the right one. First of all, let's back that bullshit that you said all the way up to the first part. Is there a such thing on record as white on white crime?
Of course it is. Most crime is always intraracial, of course.
So, no. Most crime happens within the demographic that people live in.
I said intraracial. I just said that. Black Ron, I just said intraracial.
So let's get past this misnomer of black on black crime. Crime is crime, and assault happens first verbally. Let's get back to the point I was just making. If it is a verbal assault for a straight man, such as myself, call a gay man the F-bomb. If it is verbal assault for me to call a Jewish person a kike, if it is verbal assault for a white person to call a black person a nigger on camera, then you best believe there's such thing on record as verbal provocation. And once you incite a person to wrath with your words, you have committed assault number one. Do you know that men right now are being locked up for verbally assaulting their women? Because physical, mental, and verbal assault are all forms of assault.
Black Ron, are you a lawyer?
No.
Are you an attorney? You cannot physically assault someone. Kwame, hold on. You're not giving me
Hold on, brother. If you're gonna ask him, if he's an attorney, are you an attorney?
I am not an attorney, Kwame. But Kwame, can I ask you a question?
Wait. So what was your point? I want to know what was your point. If you're not an attorney, what is and you're speaking so matter of fact, then what is your point of asking?
You cannot assault someone because they called you a name.
That's how you feel. That's what you think. And most
you
people
cannot.
go to court based off of what they feel and find out that they're wrong.
Hold on.
This is why I'm glad Negroes don't run America.
Your point before you move on. Don't dance around.
All that emotion.
What was your point of asking him? Was he an attorney if you're not one?
You got me on mute.
You're unmuted.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Okay. My point is this. He's speaking is in terms of matter of fact. The thing of the matter is that
you are too, sir.
You can okay. Let me ask you a question, Kwame. Do you honestly believe that you can go to the if you get charged with assault, you can go in front of a judge and says he or she called me a bad name. That's why I physically assaulted them. You think a judge will say, you know what, we're going to throw out your assault case because he verbally or she verbally assaulted you?
So are you going to say you're a black man, correct? What do you identify? You're a black man. I don't know.
I identify as black. I'm a black man. Yes, I identify as
so
black.
you're a black man. Do you have any sons?
I do not. I don't have any children, no.
So you have no children. So in
No
real
children.
life, so you don't understand what it is to have a son that you're raising
Irrelevant
to be a man,
nigga fact.
because
Irrelevant
no
nigga question.
son of mine I would want to conduct himself like Tommy. I don't want to hear all these smart words. In real life, hold on. In real life, a man does not come up and start hurling out, you're a black bitch, you're this, you're that. In real life, once you do that, I don't care what color the woman, you're trying to make it about color. There's white women, there's Asian women. Disrespect is disrespect. So I know I know you know how to read the encyclopedia. I know you know how to talk law and all this other stuff. I'm talking real life. In real life, if you do that to any color woman, you're gonna get met with some sort of aggression. And most times, if there's men present and you're calling women the B word, I was taught and I was trained to get you to shut your goddamn mouth. Now, regardless of whether I go to court or anything like that, you're talking what happened after the fact. I'm telling you what's gonna happen in real life. Fuck all that nice talking shit. No man is gonna allow you to sit down. No, listen to me.
All right.
No man is going to allow you to sit in front of women and start talking to them in a disrespectful manner, calling them the B word and all this. And you think somebody gonna give a damn about what you saying in court? So nobody want to hear that shit. Black boys need to see that black women can get protected. And that's not a representation of a black man that'll sit there and respect every white woman on the panel and then call this black woman a bitch.
Listen to this dumb
So, sir, I reject what you're saying, and I'm gonna bid you a good day.
It's over. Okay. It's okay. He called you Chaotic Samuels. Is that what he said?
Yeah, he called him. I mean, I just did not like his line of.
What did I just watch?
You watched Chimpanzee.
Citizen Lou, what did I just watch, bro?
Just Negro logic, bro. I'm telling you, man, it's the worst, bro. Like that was hard to watch. I mean, Chaotic Truth.
That was quite cringeworthy because I'll even start with the last point when he said, if you say this in front of any man, so it basically shows you the temperament. It's a smack in the face of black women not being unprotected, because you got a bunch of Kwame Browns where if you say anything towards a black woman, they're willing to risk their freedom. And there's a lot of black men locked up behind what he described. And you know who's not locked up? Those women. And so and that's why I'm confused about what Kwame is saying. Are you promoting that a young black boy get locked up over words to protect the honor of an unruly, aggressive, loudmouth chick? Like, what are we talking about?
And 90+% of the times, that's what happens. That's why a lot of black men are in jail. They're protecting the honor of a whore. This woman is a self-admitted prostitute. That's what's so crazy.
That's what had me pissed. He was like, he called her a bitch. I'm like, go find her profile. She's calling herself a bad bitch. So I don't get it. If Chaotic Truth name is Chaotic Nigga, and I'd be like, hey, what's up, my nigga? And it's like, don't use the N word towards me. Like, bro, your name is Chaotic Nigga, right? Her name is, she's a prostitute. She's been called worse than a bitch, right? She uses bitch in an endearing term. But suddenly when Tommy says it, then suddenly it's the most disparaging term you've ever heard. And then even with Kwame, he was being a little bit disingenuous, because when he's calling, I'm no like, I don't follow Tommy Sotomayor, whatever his name is, but if he makes a good point, he makes a good point. But knowing that this man's name is Tommy, you calling him Tammy, you're basically either calling him a pussy or a bitch or both, right? Tammy is associated with a woman name. So you're already throwing shots and saying that his conversation was illogical.
And another thing too, man, what's so crazy, bro, Kwame, he talking about all this protect black women, bro. His father is a convicted murderer for chopping
Really?
up a black woman into pieces with an axe.
Who, Kwame's father?
Yeah, Kwame's father is serving a life
Oh.
sentence for chopping up a black woman into pieces.
You
with an
think it's
axe.
some guilt or projection?
I mean, that's what's so crazy. But he trying to play this whole protect black women. Your father murdered a black woman with an axe and chopped it into little pieces, and then tried to hide the pieces.
Holy crap! That's
Yeah. I mean, you see the
hypocrisy,
the cognitive dissonance, the false dichotomy.
Yeah.
Just reverse circular lingo. I mean, the logic.
And what I saw there, they were trying to make fun of the brother because he's smart.
Yeah, he's educated.
Hey,
he's
that
articulate. He had a
blew
nice
me
suit on. He had a
when they
nice
said
what they call you,
encyclopedia.
beautiful backdrop.
Yeah, I mean,
What is wrong with encyclopedias? Like I think we all should have more encyclopedias. It's been a
Absolutely.
deficiency of encyclopedia. So I didn't like how that was like a thinly veiled shot. It's like, I know you could talk law, I know you could talk encyclopedia, but it said I'm talking real life. Aren't people lawyers in real life? Don't real people grab encyclopedias and flip through the pages? Really?
But can I say this real quick? And I don't want to hog. I just want to say this real quick. I
Go
saw
ahead,
somebody put in the comments section one time that it's what do you call them? Educated brothers have to fight for the mic, and as soon as we get it, we get clown. Like if you notice like a panel, as soon as like an educated brother, everybody, oh, shut your ass up. Do you think you smart? They'll repeat what you just said, and upon further research, they'll say stuff like that. But and then if you look at
shaming.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we have this adverse, this hate for educated for knowledge. And if you look at it, right, if you look at everybody who the slave revolts, if you look at the civil rights, the revolutions, they were all started by educated black men. Dumb niggas didn't start nothing. Dumb niggas didn't start shit, because you have to be able to theorize, strategize, and mobilize. A dumb
and
nigga
have the
can't do
connection.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But look at the connotation, So the antithesis to Pookie and Ray Ray is what? Educated lame. Just think about that. Educated has the connotation with lame. Now, there's some people that are just period lame, and there are some educated brothers, where maybe they were super introverted, they didn't have a lot of dealings with women, so they can come off as lame. But the connotation is usually just because you're smart and you have an encyclopedia, you're lame, not just because of your personality or your antisocialness. You know what I mean? And educated lames, when it comes to the cultural hierarchy in the community, they're the bottom of the barrel. Think about how stupid that is, right? An educated lame, which could go into let's say the quote unquote white world, they'll be respected as, oh, look, he's not one of the, the typical Tyrones, but in the community, your cultural clout is pretty low, right? Because because like these chicks say, a lame with money is still a lame. A lame with education is still a lame. That's how they're perceiving you. So they essentially want you to be an educated Pookie, right? They want you to theorize.
They want you to be ghost.
Have a degree. Yeah, pretty much. They want you to have a STEM degree and a Glock.
Yeah, right. You want to know what a big problem is? We'll celebrate the person who comes out of jail, but we'll frown upon an individual who's got some education. Now, I'm not saying
they'll talk shit to him for one.
Well, yeah,
you think you better than us? You ain't about shit.
True. Now, I'm not, and none of us up here on the panel, and I know Brother Chaotic Truth said he met some smart individuals from jail. I met some of them too who went to jail. We're not saying you have to have a degree, but what he said to Brother Chaotic Truth, they were trying to clown the brother because he was coming in with some. We saw the whole thing, and what happened is when they cannot win the argument, they start shaming, they start ad hominem attacks, and then they'll get you off the panel.
Sign language.
Shame, I don't have a degree, Brother 401.
You don't need a degree.
Me neither.
Smart.
Yeah, I don't have a college, and
I got mine. but you're smart though. I mean, you handle.
But you see what I'm saying? No, educated, right? Exactly. A degree doesn't
Hey, you
necessarily
know what
mean.
I use, bro? Shout out to Mr. Chaotic because I no one taught me this shit, bro. No one taught me this shit. You know what I did? I used a invaluable resource that most people don't use. Here comes a drum roll. It's
A
called a
library.
library.
I knew it. I knew you about to say
Exactly.
it.
It's fucking
Yeah.
free, bro. You could go there. They let you get on the internet, and then if you live in these affluent areas, go to one of these white areas, bro. Those libraries are decked out. You get to use the computer. You can fill out job
Yep. You
applications.
can print out
Any
stuff.
book that you can think of, bro. They let you rent DVDs.
Yep.
You could stay there all day. They don't kick you out.
I will say this: to be smart, in my humble opinion, you got to know how to take what you learn and apply it, and then you can speak layman terms. They were cracking on my brother Chaotic because he wasn't speaking in layman terms, but yes, he was speaking in layman terms. They didn't want to hear it. See, that's what the problem is, because I've run into that myself.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem like you were speaking.
He was speaking layman.
Yeah, he was speaking English. I don't know what was so.
Was speaking
but that's what happens when people feel insecure about your intelligence and your lexicon. They start picking holes and start saying stuff like, "Oh, you think you better than me?" Or
No, you know what?
Indubitably, they start saying dumb shit like that.
His lexicon only came into question because as soon as he started, I don't remember the first point that Chaotic made, but Kwame was nodding his head in agreement until you said something about black on black crime. Kwame was actually nodding his head into agreement until his cousin interjected the white on white crime, which is true, right? I mean, I do agree there is white on white crime, and crime is just crime, but that point kind of set the tone, and it became more of a hostile discussion versus a dialogue back and forth. It seemed to be going downhill from there, where someone was trying to land a aha or a gotcha moment because he wanted to go on and on about the verbal assault, right? I don't know plenty of people in jail because of what they said. It's because of what their actions was after what someone else said. Like, point me someone that's in jail. Show me a white person that's in jail for saying nigger with a hard ER. Should they have said it? No, but are they in jail for it? If I call Chaotic True a monkey from the planet of the apes, you stupid. You know what I mean? Am I gonna really go to jail for that? It's gonna make them mad and irritated.
Salute to Cool Kamasi and Kid Styles in the building, but that's what it was. I mean, you see how Negroes act now. I don't have anything against them, but it's just the way they handled the situation. He was asking a very good question. I mean, I thought if that producer didn't get in between Tommy and that woman, she was going to knock him upside the head with that microphone.
So did Tommy actually hit her back or what?
No, he didn't.
Nah,
he wasn't given a chance to hit her back, but no.
Yeah, that little Latina chick, snatched him up before she.
Are you saying that he should have been given a chance?
No, he should. No, I'm not saying that he should have been given a chance, but no, he did not hit her. But he did get in her face. Yeah, there is a video of the aftermath.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
So hold on. So he called her a bitch. She hit him. He got in her face, and he was wrong because he got in her face, but didn't physically assault her, even though he was physically assaulted.
Well, the Latina girl and then the producer stepped in.
Yeah, then Myra got in and stopped it before he could give her that 1-2 quickaroo.
But she got him though. And then Tommy also had
Tommy said he broke his foot.
Huh.
His foot's broken. He put an X-ray up the other day.
Wow.
And Tommy, I don't think Tommy is absolved from Tommy. I don't know. He just constantly finds himself in these situations.
Yeah, because he went up to New York and signed Netter, and the same thing happened, I believe. Then the Tyreek situation where Tyreek bought the Coon train out.
That Tyreek situation, that was like a setup, but
I believe that was a setup too. I mean, I do believe that was a setup, so But gentlemen, I'm at the three-minute mark. I'm gonna go ahead because I know Teapot's on.
Oh,
And,
Teapot on?
I know, yeah, I think Teapot's on. I know Chaotic. Let me know when you're gonna be. Everybody, like, share, and subscribe to Chaotic Truth, and of course, Citizen Lou's channel as well, because they were very patient. Hey, let me know when you're streaming so I can get up on your panel.
Yeah, I think I'm done for the month of February, but I will be back in March. And salute to you for 11, Be Easy, and Citizen Lou.
And you
Thank
got
you
my
very
email.
much.
You got my email,
Yep.
Chaotic. Let me know. Like I always kick out the kick out my link. Hey, I modded you up.
Yeah.
Modded Citizen Lou up.
Yeah.
I mod my peoples up, my personnel up, because you got some good stuff there for a nice channel, and you're always welcome to come up here, brother.
Hey,
Oh,
thank you very much. Yep. Salute to you, sir, and thank you very much.
all
man.
right, my brother.
Y'all take it easy, man. I'll catch y'all on next go round.
All right, hey, thank you, my brother, for coming up
Peace
here.
out, Brody.
Yes. All right, Be Easy. What do you got to say for your last comment of the day?
Okay, yeah. So this was a pretty good stream. I liked all of the gentlemen who was on. So shout out Mr. Teapot. Go check out his stream, Chaotic Truth, Citizen Lou, Mel, even the other gentleman. I don't know. He had an accent. He came up, sounded like he was trolling. Maybe he was a troll, but
Well, Rick's Mace.
okay,
Oh,
cool.
that's his channel. I mean,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, at least he was able to bring something to the conversation, you know. So I just think that us as black men, we've been through a lot. We're going to continue to go through a lot. And there's a time and a place to vent and, complain, bellyache, whatever. But the time is not every day. The time is not publicly always on these platforms. And if you're not contributing double the amount what you're complaining, you're not serious, right? If you're not contributing financially, we're talking about monetarily, right? And not competing, not saying, oh, well, I gave 411 $5 yesterday. Yeah, but you gave Starbucks $20 today, right? You know what I mean? We need to contribute. Put your money where your mouth is. On one hand, y'all want to talk about your high value and you're balling and you're making it rain. Well, make it rain in some other of these gentlemen's cash apps, and we got to keep this money circulating. I might get 10 and 411. He might give it to Chaotic. Chaotic might give it back to Citizen Lou and keep it flowing just like that. That's how we got to be. Group economics, less belly aching, more building, less complaining, more contributions. That's all I got for you, bro.
all right, bro. I'll be up here next week, man. We got some other hot topics. You got my email. You got a topic. Just
Yeah, man, I'm gonna hit you up because I need to tap in with you during the week too.
yeah, slip it in
soak up
the
some of that
email.
game.
I'll get it right on. I'll get it right on out here, and I believe Nate will be streaming tomorrow. But I think Teapot is on. I don't know. I think he might be streaming. So
Okay.
But I thank you very much, brother. Be Easy, for coming up here. Good to see
Thanks
you
a
back.
lot. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, brother. Well, keep up the good work, bro. And
You too, man. I always appreciate you in the space. You come in with the hard discussions, man. Not the most salacious or dramatic discussion, but the stuff that needs to be had.
oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But again,
All right, I'm gonna drop down. Peace
all
out,
right,
bro.
my brother. Salute, my brother. Well, again, good show tonight. We all might not be the most talented personnel up here, but we have our discussions. And again, shout out to the folks in the chat for participating. I know 3 hours can be a long time. That's why I like to get my panel started early. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go right back to my poll question. Um, the poll question had everything on it. And in the poll, I talked about black people, and I had like 13 votes here. Are black people consumers or investors? Now, it was a question that was confusing. However, there was no right or wrong answer. Now, out of 13 votes, I got, of course, there were 36% no's and 64% yeses. And the way I am going to break it down to you, you can invest in a tangible item, but are you going to get a return on investment from that tangible item? Where if you're investing in stocks or you have CDs or 401k, yes, the market can go up and down, but you can get a return on your investment. And with stocks, you can get dividends. So, yes, the question was a bit ambiguous, but I just wanted to see where everyone was coming from. There were no wrongs or no rights. As an individual, investing is subjective, and also consumerism is subjective as well, because I could buy a lot of stocks. What am I doing? I'm consuming. Or I can invest in a nice car. I'm investing. But in the end, there were no right or wrong answers. And like I said, there are good people out here on YouTube. If you're looking for the dating scene or something like that, go on over there, Minister Jap or Red Supreme. They'll fill you in. If you want politics, shout out to Little Big Nate. Shout out to Brother TPOT, TPOT. He was up here. Shout out to Chaotic Truth. That brother's got some good content. But overall, I was happy with the panel. I was also happy with the chat. And I'm going to keep on bringing you the information just as I see it, topics that I believe in. And, at the end, I'm going to continue to have poll questions because I want to see where everybody's minds are, just like tonight. But overall, it's pretty fun doing panels, particularly on a Friday night. And again, tonight we featured a collage of topics from education to money to sports. That's why I like Friday nights. But overall, I just want to say this. When it comes to people being educated and intelligent, know how to take what you learn and apply it. And let me break this down as well. I don't use the term Pookie and Ray Ray. You can be from the streets and be smart. You can be from the streets and be dumb. You can be from college and be dumb, because I've seen a lot of dumb educated people. And you could be college educated and smart. It's all about how you are moving, where your actions and your decisions are. Because today in America, you have a number of people who don't make good decisions. I don't care if you're from the streets, the rural area, or the country. If you're going to survive in this real world, the best sense is common sense. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. Also, if you're looking for some science, technology, engineering, and math, check out the QCIS channel, formerly the Mind of STEM channel. On that channel, you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, if you can't find the 411 Talk Zone radio show or the QCIS channel on YouTube, you can always check out the 411 Talk Zone radio show and the QCIS channel on Twitter. And because LinkedIn is a professional site, I also upload videos from the QCIS channel, formerly the Mind of STEM channel, to LinkedIn. And at the end of the day, I'm going to leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And of course, you have individuals out here who are very sensitive. If I'm not talking about you, don't worry about it. Why? Because if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. And once again, thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.